Welcome to the special magistrate hearing for December 13, 2022. If you wish to speak, please stand and raise your right hand. Can you stand? Yes, sir. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing? Yes. Please silence all electronic devices. You may have a seat. I would like to introduce you to the new magistrate for the city of Fort Lauderdale, Thomas Ambrose. Okay, thank you.
Ron?
Good morning. Our first case is on page 15. Inspector Bernstein Sambert. This is an administrative hearing on a citation appeal and an order to reappear. Case number CE 22090330. Case address 1151 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner Park Tower Association, Inc. This case was cited on 9/29/22 to comply by 10/13/22. Suspended 11/9/22 to 12/13/22. One section not complied at $250 per day. $6,750 accrued, and again, this was an order to reappear.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Bernstein, City of Fort Lauderdale, Community Enhancement. Case number CE 22090330. Property address 1151 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. This property is a condo which was first inspected on 9/14/22 following a neighbor complaint regarding noise from the pump room. The following violations were observed. Section 17.6.2. There is a mechanical device / water pump located in the building emitting a decibel reading above the maximum 30 dBAs allowed per city code between the hours of 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. On October 29th, accompanied by Inspector Cologne, we met with the manager and engineering for the condo property management after 10 p.m. We were granted access to the unit 1D by the tenant to take a noise measurement inside the unit. 3 readings were conducted in the bathroom, in the bedroom, with the water pump on, and each 3 noise measurement were above the 30 dBA according to the city code. A pre-hearing noise reading was done last night at the unit 1D. 3 noise measurement at 30 seconds apart. The dBA were followed as 41.1, 41.9, and 40.7 averaging. The condo association attorneys are here to kind of give their review of why hasn't the noise level been reduced to the city code limit of 30 dBA, give or take 33 if ambient noise are in the bathroom of the condo unit.
Okay, I did watch the tape of the last meeting where this was first heard by the other magistrate, so I'm somewhat familiar with the background, but I can see there's a frustration of not getting to where you need to be, and you need to be there. So what are we going to do to get there as quickly as possible? By baffling, whatever it takes, but this cannot continue.
Understood. And just to be clear,
Tell us who you are, by the way.
Michael Weitzner, an attorney for Park Tower. Just to be clear, the association has been proactive when it comes to this. They've had multiple vendors come out and try to resolve this issue. When it became clear that to the point where an engineer was needed and not just a plumber, an engineer, Epic engineer, came out and made recommendations. At the last hearing, we were still waiting on those recommendations. Since then, the association has gotten the recommendations, implemented them, but unfortunately, it did not resolve the issue. The association is currently in the process of preparing to either replace a portion of or the water pumps in their entirety in the hopes that that resolves the noise issue. And
In what period of time?
to implement those changes, we're requesting 30 additional days for the fine to be suspended. At that point, if it's still not resolved, I completely understand. But
35.
the association is not a plumbing or engineering expert. So unfortunately, they have to follow the recommendations of the vendors they select. And at this point, they were trying to avoid having to replace it because that is the most costly solution. But it's gotten to that point where they need to do that.
Okay, well, again, this cannot continue. It's disruptive, obviously, to the health and welfare of the people at night trying to sleep who live here. So it's got to be resolved. How is the city about another 30 days to do this?
The city is agreeing about to 35 days.
How many?
35 days with the reappearance.
Okay, and then this is, you suspend the fines for this? That's how that works?
Yes, sir. And I believe there's another individual who'd like to speak.
Okay. All right, counsel, we can let this gentleman speak.
Good morning. My name is Keith Silverstein. I'm an attorney, and I have been representing the unit owner and the unit owner's tenant for the past 6 to 8 months. This is not an issue in which the association has been first advised as of the date of the call for the violation. This has been an ongoing, torturous situation in which the unit owner has repeatedly advised the association and the property manager of the situation, the noise levels. There were denials after denial after denial. This has gone on for months prior to the time in which it was called in for code compliance. When we last came before the commission and the association was given the additional time, the hope was that they would engage the professionals that should have previously been called to remediate the situation. This has been going on for far too long. And although we appreciate and we acknowledge the fact that this is the holiday season and it may take additional time, the only weapon that the unit owner has is the threat of fines. And the fact that this can keeps getting kicked down the road is hurting my client, the unit owner, is detrimental to the tenant who has been bending over backwards to accommodate the association. And so another 35 days, I just request that the commission either, put additional teeth into the delay that's been requested or shorten the time period, because this has just been going on for far too long. Thank you.
Understood, thank you. Response by the city?
We're gonna go ahead and give them 35. The condo association have been trying to do their best. They actually changed the pumps in the bottom already. They added some springs, they added other things, but unfortunately it's not working. So because they're doing the due diligence of they're making progress on trying to resolve this situation, the city is glad to give them 35 days with a reappearance and a suspend fine, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, how close is this unit to where these pumps are located?
Right above the pump room.
Right above, okay. Okay. Are there other people complaining as well?
Complaining to the city, not to my knowledge. I know there's another person on top of the Unit 1D, but they haven't made a physical complaint to the city. They just said
Okay.
they're dealing with the same situation.
Okay, well, it's affecting one, it's got to be fixed. But it's got to be fixed is the point. So I'm not going to allow them, I'm new to the city here as the magistrate, but I'm not going to allow this to persist. If something isn't done in 35 days, the fines are going to resume. So I anticipate that you need to get your client to make sure the engineer does what he or she or it, the firm has to do, but this will not go on. Noise, especially when you're trying to somebody sleep at night, you can imagine what it's like. We all do. It's awful. You can't do it. You can't sustain it. And I don't like to give more time for this, but I understand why they're doing it. But I'm not going to be that happy about it if it comes back. So there has to be ways to baffle the noise, whatever it takes. Leave it to your people. I don't do that. I'm a lawyer. I don't understand that part. But I'm making it clear. I want an answer.
So, Your Honor, if I could, just because the calendar's a little confusing to me, apparently our choices would be 29 days or 40-something days, 44 days, because of the coinciding of the hearing dates. So 29 days, the notice to reappear would be on the January 11th, 2023 calendar.
Okay, well, I'm more inclined to do the shorter period than the longer period. 29 days is it. I know the holidays are here, but it's got to be dealt with. It's not like it hasn't been something on the radar for a long time. I'm also mindful that the people who have to fix this is a condo, therefore the unit owners are going to be ultimately responsible for it. City does not want their money in fines. It wants compliance, as you well are aware. Okay? All
Understood.
right, 29 days, suspension of fines in the interim, return January 11 for a mandatory rehearing. Thanks, counsel.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 20, on page 21. Senior Inspector Gail Williams, case number CE 22030714, case address 904 Ponce de Leon Drive, owner Colleen Hurt. This case was first heard on 8/9/22. To comply by 11/8/22, one section not complied at $25 per day. $875 is accrued. The city is requesting full amount, and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Senior Inspector Gail Williams for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 22030714, address 904 Ponce de Leon Drive. On March 16th, 2022, the following violation was observed and cited, 25-100. There are pavers placed in the right-of-way swell area without required conditions permit. Pre-hearing inspection conducted on December 11, 2022, and found violation 25-100 remains not complied. The city is requesting a full amount to be imposed.
Okay? So that what the picture I'm seeing here, that's the swale that has been paved, right?
Correct, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, Dan Hughes on behalf of the property owner.
You're an attorney?
I am an
Okay.
attorney. Anyway, I was speaking with Ms. Williams ahead of time. Once they had the first hearing, I was retained. And the problem is that where they've done this work on Ponce de Leon on the water pipes, it is changed the street somewhat. It's creating this water flow. So on 2 occasions, my clients replaced the grass and so forth on the swell. As soon as the big rain came, it washed it out. So anyway, when my client came here before, Ms. Williams granted an extension, and my client got in touch with me. The problem, and the suggestion at that point was to do a variance. And we can't, once I got involved, we can't get a variance because the client doesn't own this property. The city owns the property. So I spoke to the assistant city attorney, Bob Dunkel, who we used to practice law together. He said, well, Dan, you need to see if you can get a revocable license. And then when we started that process, code enforcement said, well, basically, you got to do all the corrective work first, which will cause the problem hadn't been finished. So to get long story short, I have a meeting with Assistant City Manager Fajero, and his assistant, my office assistant, are working to get together. And what I talked to Ms. Williams is, she said, I think you said perhaps we could get a 60 days, or we could even use 30 days to abate the fines. Give me an opportunity to sit down with the city manager's office and see if we can't work something out, because there's impossibility of performance if we just yank it out, because we're going to have the same situation before. And it's not that my client doesn't want to be a good citizen of the city. It's just that we know, because we tried it twice before, that's not going to work. So, and I'm not an engineer. I'm like you. I'm a lawyer. What do I know?
Yeah, the concern I've got is that this person, this owner, went forward without a permit and just did this.
Which they shouldn't have done.
Absolutely not should have done,
Right.
or it wouldn't have been approved. What does the city feel about?
The city does not oppose. He's asking for an extension. According to the calendar, we are looking at 63 days to give him that chance to have that meeting and come up with a solution to solve the problem.
Okay,
And 63 days to stay of fines.
all right, and suspend the fines, right?
Yes, stay of fines, yes.
Okay, all right. So they're willing to do that, but I'm not going to be willing to, again, like I said, for the other case and any other cases I've got, I'm not going to continue to let things roll.
Fair enough.
I want to expect it to be addressed. I know Mr. Dunkel very well. I used to work with him. I know he's here to do the real estate work, and he talks about a revocable license that's possible. Again, I won't predict what they can and cannot do, as long as they can come to a solution. If they can't, it's got to go. Okay?
I
All
understand.
right, that'll be the order. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Our next case is on page 28 with Inspector Mally Eco Murray. Case number CE 22030185, case address 4205 Northeast 22nd Avenue. Owners Anna Gajardo and La Balestra Vito. This case was first heard on 6/14/22 to comply by 8/16/22, suspended 9/13/22 to 12/13/22. 3 sections not complied at $50 per day. $4,200 is accrued, and this was in order to reappear.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
How are you? I didn't
Good, how are
realize
you?
we had fines accruing, so hopefully we could get that suspended or something.
Well, let's see what the inspector says first, please.
Sure.
Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. This is once again case number CE 22030185 for order to reappear for case address 4205 Northeast 22nd Avenue. Once again, this case first came before the Special Magistrate on June the 14th, 2022, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. The violations were first cited on March the 6th, 2022, and there have been regular conversations with the new ownership of the actual property.
A new owner?
Yes, sir. Through those conversations, we've come down to an understanding of how they were going to proceed with trying to bring the property into compliance, and we do have the owner here who would like to speak on his behalf on the property.
Okay. There's a dumpster out front, so is the home is not occupied?
I'm sorry, sir?
The home is not occupied?
No, sir.
Okay.
No. So my name is Vito La Balestra. I'm one of the owners. My wife and I, we purchased the home
When?
at the end of June.
Okay.
So at the time of the first hearing, we were not owners of the property. I did come because we were under contract, but I wasn't able to speak to anybody because we were not the owners yet, right?
Understood.
We purchased the home as our primary residence. It's uninhabitable. There's mold, the roof is damaged. We're making a substantial renovation to the home and to the community. We have plans in with the city. They've already been reviewed once. They were resubmitted yesterday with addressing all the comments, and we're hoping to have full plan approval by like mid-January. And we'll be ready to do, we're doing a 900-foot addition. We're raising the roof. So we're just looking for an extension so that we could finish the work and improve the neighborhood.
Okay.
We're not investors. It's going to be for our
To
ourselves.
live.
Yeah, to live.
Understood.
Just wanted
Okay.
to be clear on that.
It's a nice home, but obviously needs some work. The pool is surrounded by a fence, so nobody can get in there, right? No kids?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Special Magistrate, we have recently spoke about the actual current condition of the pool, and he has agreed to completely seal off that pool within the upcoming days. And we're looking at trying to allow him, I would think, a 63-day extension to start advancements with all of the different things that he's going to bring into compliance.
Okay. Is there access to the pool so somebody could get into it, like a child?
No, Special Magistrate.
No. Okay. Okay. I'm
Well,
going to
we
tell you that those are, so all of you, the code inspectors are aware of this. Mr. Daval is aware of it. Anytime I deal with a pool where it's possibly open to anybody getting into it, I want it done immediately, that it is secured so that cannot happen. I'm not going to live here and have jurisdiction over a case where something could have been protected by taking care of the pool and sealing it off, especially it can't remain green like that. We're not here for that part of the case, I know, but I'm
Yeah, no, well, we drained it as a best practice.
Oh, okay,
like
good.
halfway, and we've been treating it with chemicals.
Okay.
To ensure no stagnant water, right? So we're
And-
about to cut water and plumbing.
And it attracts mosquitoes as well if it's not treated. Okay, so 63 days and suspend the fine?
Yes, sir, with an order to reappear.
Okay, so that's the order, right? Rhonda, that would be that?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
apologize. Yes.
Okay, all right, that's what we'll do, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
Time wisely. I
Yeah.
don't want to see this persist, okay?
No, of course, we're
Okay.
just waiting.
You
for the
don't either,
appropriate
I'm sure.
permits. No, we're ready to go.
Oh, okay,
Okay, thanks.
all right.
Thank you, Special
Thank you,
Magistrate.
Our next case is on page 22 Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne. Case number CE 22050382. Case address 4280 Galt Ocean Drive, owner Plaza South Association, Inc. This case was first heard on 7/28/22 to comply by 8/8/22, suspended 8/25/22 to 11/3/22. One section complied at $50 per day, $750 accrued, and the city is requesting no fines.
Okay, by the way, before you start, I know everybody calls the magistrate your honor. I want people to know I was not elected or appointed to be a judge. So I know you're all in the habit of calling the magistrate your honor. I'm not going to try to break you of the habit, including this attorney here, who continues to do it. But I want you to know, I'm a lawyer for over 45 years. I actually worked here in City Hall for Fort Lauderdale as an assistant city attorney and deputy. But I'm not a judge, so I don't deserve the phrase your honor. You can call me magistrate. If you want to call me your honor, we'll live with it. I even proposed your majesty, but people think that's too much, so we don't use that one. All right, so we're good with however you want to call me, other than bad words.
Good morning and welcome aboard, Magistrate.
Thank you.
Senior Inspector Cologne for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 22050382. Case address is 4280 Galt Ocean Drive. This property is in compliance as of November 1st, 2022 for violation 6-51-2.
Excellent.
And the city is requesting 0 fines. And also I would like the photos entered for the record.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Brad Miller. I'm the general manager of Plaza South. We actually completed the repairs to the north lot on September 21st when we had them delivered and installed by lighting of tomorrow. With respect to the other violations, I've been working very closely with Senior Inspector and plan to work with her, continue working with her.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
even in advance of the next turtle season, we don't want any reoccurring.
So this has been completely resolved as to the turtle lighting.
Yes, they've been very good working with us and we're continuing that as we go forward.
Okay, well, I'm gratified to hear that. It's obviously extremely important to everybody that these lights get fixed for these animals, because we lose a lot this way. And having gotten it done is appreciated. So yes, I will agree to waive the fines, correct?
Correct.
So ordered.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 23, Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne. Case number CE 22050010, case address 3017 Alhambra Street, numbers 1 through 5. This case was first heard on 6/30/22 to comply by 7/10/22. There are 2 suspensions notated on the agenda. 2 sections complied at $50 per day, $7,700 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Good morning again, Senior Inspector Cologne, City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 22050010. Case address 3017 Alhambra Street, 1 through 5. The city is asking for violation 6-511 for 0 fines to be assessed. And for the remaining violations as follows: 651-2 was complied as of 10/31/22 and was out of compliance for 77 days for $50 a day for a total amount of $33,850. And violation 651-3 was also complied as of 10/31/22 and was out of compliance for 77 days for $50 a day for a total amount of $38.50 as well. So the city is asking for a full imposition at this time for a total amount of $7,700, and we would also like to enter the photos for the record.
Okay. Waiting for that. Okay. Yes, sir. Your name and address?
Yes, Juan Luis Chueca, represent the developer for the building.
Represent who?
The developer, we own the building. How you doing? So we're in the process of getting all this fixed. Last time we were here, we had all the correct lighting arrive on site. We had to change all the regular lights to the amber lights. We had electrical contractor ready to go. Unfortunately, he no longer wants to do the work.
He what?
He no longer wants to do the work to install it because it requires scaffolding and all that. So we actually have somebody new on board that actually is going to start work this week to retrofit all the existing lights to amber lights.
Okay, is the fine continuing to run?
Say again, I'm sorry?
The fine continuing to accrue?
Well, it's technically complied as of the 31st, the end of sea turtle season.
For all the
However,
violations, all the lighting violations are now in compliance?
they're in compliance. However, I do want to point out this case was opened in May,
Okay,
and there has been no work as far as anything changed out as of yet. So the city wants to impose full imposition.
okay, so that's this 3850 times 2,
On
77.
this one, correct.
Okay,
Total
Well-
of 7,700.
okay. I see no reason not to impose the fine, so I'm going to impose the fine
Okay.
with reluctance. But again, I want people to understand, this is taken extremely seriously.
Correct,
By the people who live here, it's basically anybody who has anything to do to try to protect these animals, that's their obligation, and it wasn't done timely. So that's the price you pay for not doing it timely. But it's got to be resolved.
Yeah, and we're literally, this week, they're on site to retrofit those lights. It took a
Okay.
while also because of the specialty lights were back ordered for a while. So I know you mentioned since May, we were dealing with this. So once we got it, we had the electrical engineer to come to install them. So we have a new one now.
Okay, well, dealing with it since May is an unduly long time to resolve this. We're out of turtle season now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not going to repeat before the next one, but
Oh, no,
it better
not
not repeat.
Oh, no, well,
You don't want to come back before me and have it repeat, trust me.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There's actually two other
Oh, the related
same
cases,
property,
right?
two,
Well, it's the
three
same property
parcels.
because it has, I don't know why they still have it.
You got to
on
read the case numbers, I think.
Okay.
Our next case is on page 23, case number CE 22050012, case address 3021 on Homer Street, owner DC Fort Lauderdale 1, property LLC. This case was first heard on 6/30/22. To comply by 7/10/22, there are two suspensions notated on the agenda. One section complied at $50 per day, $3,850 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Senior Inspector Cloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22050012, case address 3021 Alhambra Street. The city is asking for violation 651-1 for 0 fines to be assessed, and for the remaining violations as follows. 651-2 was complied as of October 31st, 2022, was out of compliance for 77 days for $50 a day. The total amount is $3,850. The city is asking for the full imposition of fines, and the city would also like to enter the photos for the record.
We'd like to do what for the record?
Say again?
What did you say, the last thing about the record?
Oh, for the photos.
Okay, yes, okay. Photos to be accepted. Yes, sir, anything to say to this one?
No, it's the same.
All right, same
'cause
ruling?
Yeah, the property has 3 different folios.
This is next door, apparently.
No, it's actually, I'm sorry, it's actually one hotel, but
Oh,
it's divided up in 3 parcels.
Okay, okay. All right, so I'm going to have the fine imposed on this one as well.
And we're working on unifying, because I don't know why we have it under, it's, like Dorian said, it's one hotel, it's one lot, but it still shows on the city records as 3 different lots.
Well, it's the property appraiser's records,
Oh,
not the
okay.
city's. So you need to do a unity of title.
Okay, and I'll check with the land use attorney, because I think that was.
Yes, that's
yeah,
what you would like to do,
yeah,
to get it as
but to get it
one,
once.
one thing, and so the property records will reflect that. Okay, so we will impose that as well. You have one more case, right?
One more.
Our next case is on page 24 for case number CE 22050013, case address 3029 Alhambra Street, owner DC Fort Lauderdale 1, property LLC. Case first heard 6/30/22 to comply by 7/10/22. 2 suspensions notated on the agenda. One section complied at $50 per day, $3,850 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Senior Inspector Cloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22050013, case address 3029 Alhambra Street. So the city is asking for violation 651-1 for 0 fines to be assessed, and for the remaining violations as follows. 651-2 was complied as of 10/31/22, was out of compliance for 77 days for $50 a day, for a total of 77 days, and the total amount is $3,850, and the city is asking for the full imposition of fines, and would also like to ask for the photos to be entered for the record.
Okay, photos are entered and accepted. Again,
Yeah,
same ruling. The fines will be ordered. Thank you, Inspector. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 9, Inspector Gustavo Caracas, case number CE 22080524, case address 204 Northwest 9th Street, owner 240 FLL Trust, number 240 Trust, Group L Corp trustee, property posted 10/20/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Caracas for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Inspector presenting case number CE 22080524 for the property located at 204 Northwest 9th Street. Inspection of the property was performed on August 17th and cited for the following violations. 47-34.4.C.1. There's a recreational vehicle mobile home parked and/or being stored at this RM25 single-family residence zone property. The recreational vehicle is parked for living while at this property. 18-4C, there's a derelict vehicle or trailer parked or stored at the property. 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including fascia and soffits, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. Courtesy notice was mailed to the property owner listed as on BCPA via first-class mail on August 17th, 2022, allowing 10 days to come into compliance. Contact has been made with the property owner. Special magistrate request form was sent on September 19, 2022, and scheduled for today's special master. Pre-hearing inspection was done on Monday, December 12th, and the pictures presented here were taken to confirm the violations do exist. Your Honor, the city is asking for the following. 10 days to come into compliance or a daily fine of $50 for each of the violation that exist. Photos are submitted into record for evidence. The property owner is present here with us today, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir, name?
Good morning. My name is Alejandro Lopez. I'm the property owner. We rented out the property and we've been in contact with the tenant so he can remove the mobile
RV.
the RV. And we have sent a contractor already so he can assess the repairs. That's why we are requesting if you could give us at least 30 days so we can get it
I'm
up.
not gonna do that. I'm not gonna give you 30 days. This should, if I was doing this on my own, I'd give you till tomorrow. So this is rented out to somebody, right?
Yeah, it's rented out and it's been a
Okay,
little
well,
bit difficult
again,
with the tenant.
let me, this cannot be, continue. He's offering to give you 10 days, which is 10 days more than I would give you.
The
But
RV has
don't
been
interrupt me,
removed.
please. 10 days to get it out of here, or the fines will begin. If somebody's living in there, I strongly suggest you have them stop doing that immediately. But again, the 10 days are gonna be what the city's recommending. I'm not gonna.
The RV has been actually removed as of today in the morning. You can ask the inspector.
Go on.
Your Honor, I do not see any, we're asking 10 days, but if you see fit to have more days, it'll be at your discretion.
I want less days is what I'd prefer.
Got it.
But I'm not gonna go with you, are okay with 10. I don't want this neighborhood to have to put up with this any longer than it's already done. Especially when you're renting it to somebody and somebody else is doing it, you're not even doing it. No matter what, it's not tolerable. So, and especially for somebody to live in the RV is even worse. So 10 days.
The RV is not ours, it's the tenant.
I don't, you're the property owner, you're
Correct.
responsible for it, right?
And
You
again,
understand that?
The RV, it has been removed as of today.
Okay.
The reason I'm asking you 30 days is for the repairs of the property, not
It's not
necessarily
here
for the
code
RV.
for repairs of the property, right?
We do have a violation 9-306 for the exterior building walls that require attention, sir.
All right, would we be willing to give him more time to work on the walls?
At your discretion, sir. He's asking 30 days. It'll be at your discretion, sir.
I'm okay with that. We'll give you more time to do the repairs under the 9-306, which is the exterior walls, fascia, and soffits. 10 days would be difficult to do that. Even with 30 days, it's got to be done,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
So for the record, it'll be 35 days, sir, correct?
okay, right, based on the way they do their accounting. All right, so you have 35 days, actually.
Thank you so much.
Okay, 10
Thank-
days, so the RV is gone, must
The RV is
remain
gone,
gone.
yeah.
Again,
Hopefully he
don't
doesn't
forget,
bring it back.
you're the property owner. I don't care what the
Correct.
tenant does.
No, no, I understand.
Your obligation is to make sure the tenant does what, otherwise you are the one that ends up paying fines. City does not want your money. It wants compliance.
Correct. I
Thank you.
understand.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Our next case is on page 6, Inspector Malaika Murray. Case number CE 22080646, case address 5390 Northwest 12th Avenue. Owners John and Sylvia Murphy. Property posted 10/25/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. The case number, once again, is CE 22080646, for the case address of 5390 Northwest 12th Avenue. I first inspected this commercial property zoned general industry on August the 16th, 2022, and the following violations were cited. 8-12A for overgrowth of grass on the property, which has been brought into compliance. That was brought into compliance on October the 16th, 2022. The next violation was for 47-19.5E.7 for the fence being in disrepair. That violation was also brought into compliance by October the 16th, 2022. The remaining violations on that property are 47-20.20H, which would be for the parking facilities at the property not being maintained properly. There are missing parking lines, as well as there is damaged wheel stops in the off-street parking area. The next violation would be 9-306 for the exterior building walls not having been maintained. There are still dirt stains as well as blemishes in the paint, as well as faded portions of the exterior walls. Postings and mailings have been sent as per departmental protocol. This case was first scheduled for a special magistrate hearing on October the 17th, 2022. There has been a conversation with the ownership to discuss the violations and corrective actions for the resolution. And at that time, the property owner agreed to comply the violations. BCPA records reveal no change in the property's ownership since April the 26th of 2000. This is a business location and therefore cannot be homesteaded. During a pre-hearing inspection on Sunday, December the 11th, 2022, I found that the violations do remain as depicted in the pictures that I am submitting for the record. It is the city's recommendation to request 28 days to bring the property into compliance, or $50 per day to begin to accrue thereafter.
Okay. Yes, sir. Name, address?
John Murphy.
Okay. All right. I can see that you've done compliance, which the city appreciates, for the two issues about the fence and the landscaping. These other issues have to be addressed. They're giving you basically a month within which to do it.
When we got the violations initially, I told the inspector that we were going to be expanding the building. So it took nearly 3 months to get the survey from McLaughlin's, which we received yesterday. We gave it to the architect. We're expanding the front of the building. There's a lift station. That lift station will have to be removed so we can tie into the city on 54th and not on 12th Avenue. So the car parking will be dug up to get around to the side of the building. So that's why we haven't repaired the car park.
So how much time are you seeking to get all that done?
Well, we require permits, so we're going to have to go through the city. That's going to take, 6 to 8 weeks to get that done. Then they remove the lift station and then expand the front of the building. So, how long does that take? 6-9 months to get all that done?
Special Magistrate, we'd be inclined to ask for an order to reappear for this particular case in 56 days to see where we're at.
Okay. All right. So they're going to give you 56 days.
Oh, I'm sorry, Special Magistrate, I was just informed we have one on 63 days.
All right, even better. You got an extra week. 63 days to reappear. It will be required. But I'm going to want to see that you made significant progress on filing for the permits, getting this work in process, because I don't want this to persist.
No, I've been there since 1989.
Okay.
This is the
Well,
first.
for the most part, it looks like a really nice building, but if you're expanding it and putting money into it, that's fine. But the parking facilities are bad. The fact that you've done some work already to fix things is good, but this still has to be addressed, obviously. So we'll see you back in 63 days. All right, Mr. Murphy? All right, thank you.
Our next case is on page 9. Inspector Gustavo Caracas, case number CE 22050111, case address 800 Northwest 8th Avenue, owner 800 Northwest 8th Avenue LLC, property posted 10/25/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Good morning, Magistrate. Officer Caracas for the City of Fort Lauderdale, Compliance Inspector, presenting case number CE 22050111 for the property located at 800 Northwest 8th Avenue. Inspection of the property was performed on May 4th of 2022 and cited for the following violations. 47-19.9, there's outdoor storage at this property consisting of derelict vehicles, auto parts, and rubbish stored outside. 18-4C, there are derelict vehicles and trailers parked stored on the swale and within the property. 18-12A, there's trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and on its swale. Courtesy notice was mailed to the property unit listed on BCPA via first-class mail on May 4th of 2022, allowing 10 days to come into compliance. Contact has been made with the property owner and all of the tenants within the property. Special magistrate request form was sent on August 11 and scheduled for today's special master. Pre-hearing inspection was done on Monday, December 12, and pictures presented here were taken to confirm the violations do still exist. Your Honor, Magistrate, city is requesting the following: 10 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 for each of the violations that exist. The photos are submitted into record for evidence, and we have the property owner present with us today.
All right, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning. We closed on the property. Name is Sam Rogatinsky. I'm the owner of the property. We closed on the property on January 1st, 2022. 6 months into the ownership, we met with Inspector Caracas here at the site. Since that time, we've been working to bring the property into compliance with the guidance of Inspector Caracas. We've identified tenants who are not compliant. We started the eviction process on tenant number 1 in Bay 1, who would not come into compliance, would not listen to what we were telling him to take his cars away, one on top of the other. We started an eviction process. We hired an attorney to do it, and he's in the process. It takes time. We haven't accepted rent for almost 3 months already because the guy wants to stay, but we are evicting him because of these cars.
Are you saying you have you started an eviction process for this person who's not complying?
I did. I started.
Filed it?
Yeah.
What's the status of the eviction case?
The status is that he was served, and the status is that we're now getting ready for the sheriff. If he doesn't respond by today, then we'll be able to get the sheriff to go out and get rid of this particular person.
All right, so that's one tenant of how many here?
5 tenants.
Okay.
When was that eviction filed? Because the pictures from the inspector go back to June.
Yeah. Let me just pull it up. Alex Johnson. It's filed by attorney Alex Johnson, AJ. Let me just find it. I had it written down. Hold on. I can give you the case number, if that's good for you. 22-07-1881, and it's 800 Northwest 8th versus One King Auto Collision. Another thing we started doing, and I've told the city a number of times, Mr. Caracas, I said, if you want to tow the cars, tow the cars. So he said, no, you tow the cars. He says, we tow the cars sometimes, you tow the cars sometimes. I'm all for doing, listen, we paid a lot of money for this property, and I want to make it better. And every property that I ever bought in my entire life, I've always improved it. I've never made it worse. And we have plans to paint the building and stucco and fix the lights. And we've already done all the fire stuff. Today it was inspected. Remember, you came with one of the things they are inspected. We had that signed off today. Anyways, we're doing the best we can in this situation. This, again, and I'm not here to ramble on, but this is a warehouse area with junkyards, and it seems like the city is trying to gentrify the entire area.
So the city's trying to what?
Gentrify, get people out of there, do whatever to get people out of there.
I find that absurd, to be honest. So let's deal with the real facts.
Okay, so
you're the property owner. You're responsible to get this done. You got 4 other people that are still doing this. You can't really tell the city to go tow the cars. This is going, if these things don't get fixed, you're going to be the one that pays the fine. I don't want the money. City doesn't want the
I
money.
know.
They want compliance.
Here's the issue, Magistrate. I want to solve this problem, but I don't know if I can solve it. And I'm a very hands-on person. I have other property. I have a hands-on
What do you mean
guy.
you don't know if you can solve
Okay,
it?
so
You have a lawyer that can help you, so have the lawyer do what they need to do. But otherwise,
I'd have to evict everybody, because the way that it's done now is you can keep cars, they have to have a license plate, which is fine, but there's double parking there forever. There's always been double parking for the last 50 years. And these tenants, some of them have been there for 15, 20 years, and they double park. So I'm gonna listen to Inspector Cross's instructions. It has to have a license plate. You can't have cars in the road. Yesterday, I towed a car. Yesterday, there was a car there. I had it towed. But the only thing I can do is evict everybody and move in there myself and run a body shop with all 5 locations.
Look,
It's a problem. I'm not.
it's a problem, but it's your problem.
I know.
And when it's your problem, it's then the city's problem, and the city doesn't need this problem. It's got all these other people to deal with. You got 10 days to get this fixed. If you don't, a fine of $50 per day for everything that remains will begin. You're not homesteaded, so the city could end up foreclosing on this property and owning it. It doesn't want to do that. Find a way to get this resolved, but you got 10 days within which to do it. It's not going to be tolerated. I'm not going to tolerate it, so I'm letting you make
Okay, so on the record, can we talk, Mr. Carson, explain to me exactly what you want so he understands? Because we're going to be back here, because I don't know what else to do. Like, and you know
Can
too.
have this discussion here. You can deal with it. Have you already had this discussion?
We've had discussions for the past 6 months, sir, again, with the property owner and the tenants. And again, property owner, to be fair with the property owner, he's trying to fix it. Unfortunately, his tenants continue to bring cars day after day after day. So it's one of those things where, unfortunately, we used to tow vehicles, but the property owner now has to take some responsibility, even though he says, no, it's not me. We understand it's not him, but it's creating a nuisance to the entire neighborhood around the area there. And mind you, this is complaint-based. We don't go out there and look for these things.
But
So
even-
your neighbors, the church across the street, the neighbor that you have across from you is complaining, and also the people that are on 747 on 7 Terrace, which is half a block away, they're complaining because his tenants create so much work, and they just leave cars everywhere. It's the tenants that are causing the problem. And yes, we used to tow vehicles, but it's becoming also costly for the city as well to start towing vehicles on a constant basis. So now we take it out. The owner has to take some responsibility. sir.
I agree with that. I think the owner now has to take full responsibility.
And that's why I filed an eviction. And evictions take
Okay, well,
90 to 120.
that's 105. It looks like these other people are doing it as well. So either you're going to have to get tenants to comply so they don't hurt you, but that's your job.
I understand.
It's not
and-
the city's
and-
job, is to help you go find tenants. You're going to have to find people that do what they're supposed to do so you don't end up paying for it.
I understand, but even if I were to file an eviction tomorrow on all of them, it would take at least 90 to 120 days. In the best
This
case
has been going
scenario,
on since how long?
I'm a new owner, and I met with you after the first time you
Again,
called.
Your Honor, we're asking for 10 days. He's asking for more time. It's at your discretion, sir, what you.
How can I do it in
like
10
to
days?
do.
Do what in 10 days?
Well, you've had plenty of time within, if you already filed one case for eviction, you could have done it for these other people. If they don't get the message, then you're going to have to get them the message. You got 10 days to get this resolved. Fines will begin if it's not done. Again, I'm letting you know, the city does not want the money. It wants the compliance. Do what you need to do. You got a lawyer. She knows how to file an eviction. Do it for all of them if you have to. Get somebody in there that can abide by the law. But that's your obligation as a property owner to get this property into compliance. Not the tenant, your obligation to get proper tenants. Understood? Thank you.
Our next case is on page 19 with Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. Case number CE 22060319, case address 720 Northwest 14 Terrace, owner MPG 700 to 745 LLC, in care of Metropolitan Property Group. This case was first heard on 8/9/22 to comply by 9/6/22, suspended 10/11/22 to 10/21/22. 2 sections, not complied at $50 per day. $8,800 has accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning, Magistrate. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., number 317, presented on behalf of the city. Case and address as read. This case was first heard on August 9th, 2022, where the magistrate ruled in favor for the city and the property owner was ordered to correct violations at this property by 9/6/22. On 10/11/22, Special Magistrate Purdy granted a 10-day extension. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on 12/12/22, and the violations remained with no change and continued to accrue daily fines. City is requesting full imposition. The property owner is here to speak.
All right, sir. Your name?
My name is Yamara. I represent the property management, and I've been working with the inspector, try to get this resolved, and we do a lot of improvement. But I'm not blaming anybody, like I heard from before. We try and we keep changing and we listen to them, and we put everything that they tell us. But we have 96 units we have to evict, I think like more than 20-something tenants because they don't pay, they destroy the property, they throw things everywhere. I have maintenance changing the schedule constantly just to make sure, that they're there and cleaning. And it's like you clean and they throw things back to you and they cross the fence. He has pictures showing that. I'm asking for 10 more days to see if I can come out with something else. 10.
I'm not opposed. She's been trying. Every time I've been back, they try to do their best. She's tried different options. It's just difficult. There's
The dumpster, if
bunch
that's
of
what it looks
units,
like. Here it is, December 12th, and that's deplorable. Hold on, that means somebody has to be hired to periodically monitor that and not allow it to get in that condition. I know people do that, but your obligation on behalf of the property owner is to take care of the mess they make. If somebody did graffiti on the building, you didn't do it, but you'd be responsible for it. That's how it works. It's an obligation of a property owner. So that's got to be resolved. The other issue is the overgrowth. These are things that, is the overgrowth still there?
the overgrowth is complied.
All right,
It's
good. All right.
landscaping.
All right,
There's
so
some
thanks for
bare
doing
areas
that.
of
How about the landscape is maintained now?
No, the landscaping still has bare areas.
All right, that has nothing to do with the people that are staying there. That's for you as the property owner, manager, to get it fixed. So you need 10 days to do that. I'm willing to do that. Are there fines already running on this? They are, right?
Yes, they were suspended for a period of 10 days, but they're running right now.
All right, are we
I take
willing
it
to
they
do
were
another
suspended
10-day
the last
suspension
time.
or not?
A special magistrate, Hulu Davila, co-compliance supervisor, obviously it's your discretion, but I am opposed to granting an additional 10 days for something trash that, should be, has been mentioned here, periodically just cleaned up on a daily basis. They need to have somebody there that can daily monitor the property and clean it up, especially in the evening hours and first thing in the morning, and maybe a couple times during the day, because every single time we pass by this property, there always seems to be trash out there. It doesn't seem like anyone's putting forth the effort that could really be made so that trash isn't there or seems to be there 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could briefly, Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. The trash violation is shown as complied on our agenda. It doesn't look like it's complied based upon the pictures, but it shows it's complied. So
It complies, and then it happens again, so it had to be treated as a recurring or repeat violation. That one complied before any fines happened. They cut the grass and they picked up the trash. It's mainly the dumpster area that we continue to have a problem with, and then, they have somebody on site that usually cleans, for the most part, but it's difficult for them. It's a continual issue that they gotta keep going. But the 1812 did comply before it ran any fines. It's the dumpster that always, doesn't matter what time I try to go in the morning, I try to go in the afternoon, I go different times just to try to see if, I can get it, where it's clean, and it's always like that.
And it looks like it's blowing around on the neighborhood. When I see some of these other pictures into the swales.
Yes, correct.
So that's not gonna,
It's fence around
it's what?
it's a fence around the property. It's not blowing anywhere.
The point is the dumpster it's recurring. You fix it and then it comes back. Listen to me, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want it fixed so it doesn't recur. If it comes back to me, it's going to be a problem for your boss. because I'm going to impose a large fine. I don't want fines. I want compliance like they do. That's what you need to do. I will give you the 10 days despite the supervisor's request not to give it to you, so that you can get organized and get somebody to come over here and monitor this thing and keep it clean. If not, it's going to be a problem, and I don't want you to have a problem because I don't want to deal with the problem, nor do you.
I
You
appreciate it.
understand? 10 days,
Okay.
but get it resolved.
Already.
And then you've got part of the area that needs to be missing grass and ground cover, 10 days to get that done,
Okay,
okay?
already.
So
Thank you.
I'm going to suspend the fines for this period of time.
If you, at your discretion, Your Honor.
I'm going to do that for you. to
Thank you so
suspend the
much.
fines, but I expect you to use that money, whatever it takes to get this done. Because otherwise, I'm going to reimpose the fines. Like I say periodically, I don't want the money. The city doesn't need the money. This neighborhood shouldn't have to live like this. Your obligation for your boss to get this resolved, okay?
Okay, and I do, sir, I just want you to know that I had somebody in the property, and I've been changing the hours for him, you know, he started before at 8, now he started at 7. I had to change it to 6 o'clock, because, I mean, and we have the dumpster, they pick up the dumpster 3 times a week. And even yesterday, I have to call it in because it was 10 o'clock in the morning and it has not passed yet. I have to call it in and be in touch with
This is
them.
something you're going to have to handle.
I do.
I don't want him to come by there and say, it's still a mess.
Okay,
There's no reason for this to continue. It's something that people can take care of that own the property, which is the people you're representing.
yes, I
So
do.
please get it done,
And they're
because
doing
it's
the
going to
best.
be a problem, and I don't want a problem. I got
Thank you so
enough here
much
to
for
deal
the
with.
time, and I will do my best to get this thing out,
You-
you know.
you-
I don't really want to be
It's
here
gotta
either,
be-
it's like.
It's got to be fixed.
Okay, I will.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 18, Inspector Paulette Del Grasso, case number CE 22020350, case address 825 Northeast 11th Street, owner Florville, St. Louis. This case was first heard on 6/30/22 to comply by 8/5/22, suspended 8/25/22 through 10/27/22. One section not complied to $50 per day. $3,400 is accrued, and the city is requesting full amount fines continue to accrue.
Good morning and welcome, Magistrate
Thank you.
Ambrose.
Ansbro, close enough.
Ansbro.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Ansbro. I am Inspector Paulette Del Grasso for the City of Fort Lauderdale. The case and address are as read. I realize this is a hearing to impose fines, but I'll provide a brief summary of the facts as the owner would like to suggest an alternate solution to
Sure.
comply the violation. The property was initially inspected on February 10th and cited for the following violation: 47-19-4D5, bulk containers larger than 2 cubic yards located on corner properties are required to have an enclosure even if placed in an alley. My findings revealed there are 2 6-yard dumpsters on the corner lot in clear view. Despite being in an alley, the unkept dumpsters pose a nuisance to the community and are required to be in enclosures. I prepared an inspection report for mailing to the owner of record along with a copy of the ordinance. A copy was also posted on site. The owner, Mr. St. Louis, who is here today, filed for a fence permit on August 17th. On August 25th, Judge Flynn granted, or Magistrate Flynn, granted a 60-day or 63-day extension of time without requirement to reappear, with fines stayed until October 27th. As of November 16th, the permit on file is still out for corrections. Therefore, as the owner is not in compliance, the city requests the full imposition of fines.
Okay, that's $3,400 if the math is showing.
Correct, Your Honor, Your Magistrate.
Your Majesty, sure. Yes, sir, what's your name?
Florville, St. Louis. I hired a company to do the closure. And it's coming back to me, it's not enough room to put the closure in it.
I didn't understand the last thing you said.
I mean, it's not enough space to put the closure for the dumpsters. What I do is I remove my dumpsters, I put them inside. All the time my dumpsters coming out when the dump coming to dump me, when the garbage men come in to dump my dumpsters. I kept all my dumpsters inside.
So is this true that they're not in the alley anymore? They're not visible?
Well, Your Honor,
That's all right, don't worry about it.
since the fines were stayed as of October 27th, I've gone by numerous times and I've seen the dumpsters in the same state that they have always been. This business has been there for many, many years. It's been a blight on the community for a long time. The Civic Association, as well as many neighbors, contest having to see the overflowing clothes scattered about the business in the alley. He has the bay doors open and the clothes are often falling out into the street. So I'm doing my best as the code officer for the neighborhood to try to find a resolution for both parties and to help make this, the appearance much more pleasing to the neighborhood. I have gone by many times since he was supposed to, since the fines were stayed, and seen it in the same state. Until last Thursday, I drove by and he had a forklift and he was moving the dumpsters around. Now, I can't verify whether he's putting them in all night and keeping them enclosed in the building, but when I drive by during my daily duties, I often see the dumpsters outside still with clothes falling out of them.
So no matter what, he needs, if he's gonna keep dumpsters outside at all, he needs to enclose them.
That's correct.
Permit application pending.
He does, but he's saying that the contractor is finding it impossible to build the enclosure or a fence in the alleyway, even though it's quite a wide alley, so I don't know why there would be an issue.Maybe it's because the sanitation trucks wouldn't be able to get through. I'm just not sure why there's such a problem with building the enclosure.
Well, you have to resolve this. I'm not gonna allow this to persist. This has been going on way too long. I'm brand new to this, and I'm already unhappy to see that this is persisting, as she says, for this neighborhood. So this is gonna stop. You understand me?
I understand.
It's gonna stop. So you can't put the dumpsters back in the place and then bring them around, move around in a forklift, get the enclosure, or get the dumpsters inside and leave them there, and let them be serviced inside so they're not visible, and bring the door down. I don't want to have this neighborhood look at this anymore. I want it to stop now.
Okay.
You understand?
That's what I do.
No one wants to fine you, but I am gonna fine you because it's been going on too long. You're running a business, now the city's gonna take money from you, from your business, because you didn't comply. They don't like to do that, but that's what I will order.
That's what I do all the time. I put it on my dumpsters inside. Anyway,
I'm looking at the pictures and she's testifying that when she comes by often enough, it's not there. And there's clothes spilling out. Like, look at this picture here.
I see.
This is not acceptable.
I see.
And it's not going to be. And if it comes back to me,
Yeah.
it's going to be a bigger problem for you.
Yeah,
And I don't
see.
want to do that,
Okay,
but I
thank you.
will.
Thank you. So from now on, I'm going to keep all my dumpsters inside. Thank
Well,
you.
You let me know if he is not complying, because it's going to, I'm going to increase the fine substantially if he doesn't do either get it enclosed or keep these out of sight. But I don't want this neighborhood to have to see this anymore. If this has been persisting this long, it stops today.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe Supervisor Bass.
All right? Take me
Yeah.
seriously on this.
All right.
Sir, take me seriously on
Thank you, sir. I will.
Well,
I will. I will.
You
I will.
can thank me when you get it done, but you need to get it done.
I get it done. Thank
So
you.
get it enclosed or get them out of the site. I don't want this outside anymore.
No,
Right?
I'm not living outside anymore.
All right? Okay.
So, the closure, I'm not gonna do the closure, right?
Your Honor, that's his alternate solution. He's not gonna have these dumpsters inside any longer. So,
So he needs an enclosure.
I beg your pardon.
He does need an enclosure outside. If they're gonna be outside at all, it's one thing to have them serviced, but if they're serviced inside the bay, and the truck goes in there and takes them from inside the bay,
Right.
rolls up the door, they could do that, right? As long as they close the door and it's not there.
Well, that's my question. Would this comply the violation for this particular? I'm sorry. No. I mean, if this is his solution to just not have the dumpsters in place any longer, I mean, the fines are being imposed today, but his corrective action is to just have the dumpsters in the building from now on, and
Well,
then
if
he
he,
wouldn't
does-
have to
if
build
he
it.
keeps them in there and keeps the doors down, what is this business? What is it? What is it?
Clothing,
What is it?
clothes business, clothes, yes.
Okay, well, again, if you're gonna leave the dumpsters outside, you need an enclosure. If they're gonna be inside, I want the door down, unless actively somebody is coming in to remove the clothes.
Okay.
And then close immediately. But I don't want, the door is open and we're waiting for the truck to come.
Okay.
That's not gonna be acceptable.
Okay, I'll keep the door closed.
All right, if you can keep him in there, then he can, right? Then he would comply.
Okay, well,
We'll give him an opportunity, but if you don't, and it comes back,
Yeah.
it'll be a bad day.
I'll keep it closed. I'll keep it closed.
I'm not trying to be a tough guy here. I want it fixed.
Okay.
I want it addressed. People
Thank you.
live with it long enough.
All right,
All right?
all right, thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Are we imposing the fines or?
Yeah, I'm imposing the fine.
Our next case is on page 29, Inspector Bernstein Sambert. Case number CE 22050297, case address 1123 Northwest 6th Avenue, owner Marie Jacqueline. This case was first heard on 10/11/22 to comply by 11/15/22. One section complied at $50 per day, $1,150 accrued, and the city is requesting $280.
Good morning, Your Honor. Bernstein Sambert, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement. Case number CE 22050297, property address 1123 Northwest 6th Ave. Property owner, do you waive your right to a massey hearing?
Does she know what that means?
Yes, she knows what that means. I explained to her.
Okay.
As of today, all violations are in compliance. I have been in good communication with the
Great.
property owner. She currently has a pending building permit for a fence on file for a new fence. But due to the issues of approval, she decided to remove the chain link fence completely because it wasn't deterring, so she could get into compliance, so she could then focus on the approval for the new fence. So the city is requesting administrative cost of $280.
So those are city costs.
Correct, the administrative cost, correct.
Okay. So those are costs that the city has expended on your case that I can't give you a break on. That's for the hard work that the people did on this. So the taxpayers are not paying for your case. You're paying for it.
Can you lower it, Your Honor?
I can give you some more time to pay it if you want,
Okay,
like 2 months to pay it.
no problem.
Okay, let's give her 60 days to pay it.
That's fine.
But it's $280 is due.
280, okay.
Okay? When it's city costs, I don't like to give that up. That's, again, I don't like to have taxpayers pay for what you did. The fact that you complied is a really good thing, and that's appreciated. But you still have to pay this price so that,
Okay,
like I said,
280, I'll do.
280 in 60 days, okay?
60, okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14. It is a request for vacation rental suspension. Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne. Case number CE 22110380. Case address 2525 Okeechobee Lane. Owner Timothy Miller. Property posted 11/17/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm one of
I'm
the,
going to hear from the inspector first.
Good morning, Magistrate. Leonard Champagne for case number CE 22110380, location 2525 Okeechobee Lane, for violation 15282 D1A. There is qualified number of violations at this vacation rental property to request a certificate of suspension for 180 days before the special magistrate.
What's the case number on this one?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
What's the last 4 digits on this case number?
On the case number?
0380.
CE 22110380.
I got it, never mind, I was on the wrong one. Okay, go ahead, thank you.
Okay. On this particular case, Your Honor, there was 4 violations. Okay. And the first case was CE 22090719. That was for violation 15278-7. They were advertising for the incorrect amount of people. Then we also had case CE 22110258. That was 3 violations for 15278-5A for noise, 15278-1E for parking, and 15275-5 is the responsible party failed to respond within 1 hour of being noticed. That was a party that they had, Your Honor, and all those 3 violations occurred at that one particular instance. So that would give us 3 violations, and like they said, 3 violations above requires, we can request a suspension of 180 days.
All right, sir. Yes, who are you, please?
So I'm one of the partial owners, Mariah Miller. I'm also here representing my dad, Timothy Miller. He's the other owner. He resides in Washington State, so he could not be here today. And here with me is Dan. He's part of our management company. My dad and I got this property because I'm the only child who lives on the East Coast. The rest of my family's on the West Coast. So we like to use this house for our family to, so they can more easily visit. And then we rent it out when we're not using it. So Dan has more information on the situation.
So as property manager,
Your name?
Sorry, my name is Daniel Savino.
And what's your capacity with the property?
I'm the property manager. So on behalf of what the Millers, for the Millers property, I want to emphasize some of the things that occurred at this house. I represent a property management company for their house. We're based in Miami, and while that's no excuse, I just want to say we're not denying any of the violations that did occur. We did make changes to try to fix some of these things. So as for that first violation, I just wanted to say that the Millers, they're very, I know compliance is essential to this city, and something that I'm very close with for Tim is making sure that Airbnb, you know, we work together with them to make sure, you know, the correct amount of people are listed that are allowed to be at the property. So for that first violation that was received, we were managing within the occupancy limits while coping with a peculiar nuance from the Airbnb booking engine. Our listing clearly stated that the maximum occupancy for the home is 6 adults and up to 4 children under 13. Short of us actually going to the house and removing this family that actually stayed in there for that first occurrence, we should have done a little bit better to remove them.
Stop you for a second. Sure. Have these violations been heard already?
Yes.
All right. Look, I'm not going to go back over the violations because I'm not going to rehear the violations.
Sure.
They've already been decided, and apparently the violations exist. So the fact that there's 3 within the time period of the city means I have the opportunity to shut this down for 6 months. So I'm going to hear from the people behind you before I make a ruling. Let them speak, unless you want to talk about.
I do. For the 3 violations,
Yes.
I do want to speak on behalf of those. So for those 3 violations that occurred, they all happened in one single occurrence for one party that occurred. I know it's not tolerable. The city definitely doesn't want to hear that. But we did try to make changes since then. As property manager, I pride myself on making sure that things like this do not happen.
Why didn't you show up on time when they?
So the way that our system works in the property management company is that we have everything linked to a Ring Central number rather than my personal number. So for whatever odd reason, I did not get that call that night. And furthermore, we didn't get the call, so we missed it. It went to the property owner, Tim. He's on a different time zone. So I missed the call. It was the middle of the night.
If you'd used your own phone, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Correct.
Okay.
But-
And now that's what you're doing, I presume.
Yes, magistrate, we are doing that also.
One second.
Magistrate, can I just say something with this?
Of course.
Even if you're managing a property, this is not occasions of what happens. It reads that there are actually violations. Okay, so there were the violations, okay? And when you get a certificate, under the certificate, you're supposed to read it for the certificate, find out what the rules and regulations are, and on the certificate is posted a telephone number for a manager that must report within an hour.
Right.
Okay, so there, and then on this particular case, there was 3 and another one, so there was 4. So I just like to let them know also, if you do get another violation and it goes to the fourth, and we're looking at this as there was 3 on one and 1 on the other, so we're asking for 180 days. If it so happens again, you're looking at a lot larger fine and then losing it for another 365 days. So I just want to make them aware of that.
Yeah, okay. But did all these things happen on one night, one day?
The one case was 3 violations.
Right.
Okay, and then the other time that was the 4th violation.
All right, but there's 3 different dates.
But we're only going for 3 we're asking for 180 days
I understand,
suspension.
but there's 3 different dates that these things happen.
No, it's 3 different dates, 3 violations on the one,
Okay.
and 1 violation on the other one, for the total of 4.
Okay.
And yes, there are two members of the public.
Yeah, I want to hear from the public before, I want to let him finish.
If I may, Magistrate?
Yes.
So like I was saying, these 3 things did occur on one party reservation. I missed it. That's not on the Miller family, and I feel horrible about it. I've been since then.
As horrible as the people behind you.
Correct, but if I could continue. Since then, I also installed noise minute monitoring systems inside and outside the home, so that way I'd be aware of anything that would ever happen there. So that way I could get there before something even would happen. Also, we have Ring cameras installed. I've also hired security, so that way they
What installed?
Ring cameras on the front and the back. So one of them is actually a parking violation. Again, another thing that happened just a little bit, not at the right time, I guess. So we had the Ring cameras now, we have the minute alarm systems, we have almost everything you could imagine to make sure that something like this would never happen again. And I promise you, this was one occurrence. I will never let this happen again.
Okay. All right, let me hear from the people behind you, please. Yes, sir. Your name and address.
Good morning, Magistrate. My name is Jeff Frames, 2530 Gulfstream Lane. I'm the Vice President of the Lauderdale Isles Civic Improvement Association. I'm here on behalf of our neighborhood. This particular property, this wasn't just one night. I have copies here of Q alerts for 2 other issues, 2 other parties on October 2nd and August 7th, where they had huge crowds. Unfortunately, on one of those, the police department didn't respond for communication problems, and on the other one, code didn't respond because they were still working on their process and notifying inspectors in the field. That's secondary. The fact is, it's been a chronic problem for our neighborhood. That particular night that this happened, the lady behind me, Christine, who's the next door neighbor, she and I were on the phone with the police department and customer service, over 12 calls. 2 in the morning, I was still on the phone with a sergeant who was sending a crew over there again from the police to make sure the place was cleared up, because here's what happened. The police went there a little bit before midnight. They dispersed the crowd. There were 13 cars there, okay? Dispersed them. They left. 20 minutes after the police left, the crowd was back. They called each other, and the party was worse at that time. It's a rough crowd. It's not the kind of people that I'd want to have next to my house that was there. I would just like to say to you, the city code, the first sentence in the city code regarding vacation rentals, the city commission says that they are injurious to the health of neighborhoods. If there was ever a property that was injurious to the health of our neighborhood, it was this one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Chris Grangelo. I live next door, 2519.
You're next door to this? Okay.
Yes, I'm next door. This was the only occasion where they were actually fined. This has been going on. It's a recurrent issue. This is a party house. My husband and I have even thought about selling our home because of the noise level. There have been twerking contests in the driveway, underwear
What
left.
kind of contest?
Twerking.
Oh.
Underwear left in the driveway,
information than I
clouds of
wanted.
weed coming over the fence while we're trying to sit in our backyard. I've been in my bedroom, even through impact windows. My bed has been shaking from the music. And it's not just at normal times. I've even tried not to, get upset if it's, noise ordinance beforehand, but it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Then there have been crowds of people coming to my door and saying, oh, is this where the party is? No, there have been alcohol deliveries. This has been a nightmare for me. I have thought about selling my home.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that's not the only time.
Okay.
And I don't know, the word is out, it's a party home. There have only been exactly 2 guests there who have not had a party, just 2.
Okay, well, I'm not going to tolerate anybody has to live with this and then feel that they have to move. This is not going to happen in this city. Vacation rentals are a privilege that you get under state law and under city ordinances, but they're supposed to be strictly complied with. That wasn't done. There's even things here that weren't cited, but the quality of life for these people is intolerable, and it deserves a 6-month suspension. So that's what I'm going to do. You're going to lose the right to do this for 6 months. If you come back and do it, you'd better do it right, because if I'm here, you'll get revocation. I won't tolerate it. I won't put up with it for these people or anybody else. I can't imagine that what it's like to live like that. So the fact that you had one night, no, it's not one night. The testimony is under oath that it's more often than that. So that's what I'm going to do. You can say what you want, but that's my ruling.
Again, your magistrate, I respect your decision, and there's nothing I can do other than tell you that we've tried to correct these issues, and if you would have granted it, we would have.
I can tell you that after the 6 months, if you get them corrected, then life will go on. But I'm not going to have this lady and this gentleman who represents
And
this
again,
neighborhood.
I totally respect.
This is a residential neighborhood, so the fact that these people bought this property and are using it to make money, that they're allowed to do that under state law. I may not agree with it, but I respect the law and I will uphold the law. But I will require that you comply with the law, and this is not compliance. So 6 months is going to get their attention. You can go back and tell the people on the West Coast, because they don't have to live with it, that people here on the East Coast are living with it, and they're not going to while I'm here and he's here.
Again, Your Honor, just want to emphasize to him and the neighbors, if there is another violation, the violation will then be asking for 365 additional days and a large fine.
I will make sure there's a hearing if that happens, and there'll be due process, notice and opportunity to be heard as the law requires. But I will not be reluctant to close this down for a year.
Magistrate, when it comes to rentals like this, we've already talked about and discussed, obviously, one, selling the house, but again, if it goes to another person that will buy this house, and I don't want you guys to ever face this issue ever again, but I'm saying we were thinking about also doing a long-term rental, get like a real family in there. Is that permitted?
That would be wonderful. That'd be much smarter, actually.
No, of course.
Again, you're looking at a residential neighborhood. It's not a party neighborhood.
Of course not.
So, what these people have put up with, and this is not all the people that are affected, I'm sure. So it's going to stop for 6 months. Tell your family, you're the part owner, it's going to hurt, but it's a business. These people live here. Their business is to have peace and quiet where they live, not to make the money. So you'll play it by the rules, or you will pay the price. And now you're going to pay the price for 6 months.
Just to clarify, though, Magistrate, one more time, if a long-term rental permitted more than 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor. If you're doing a long-term rental, then it's allowed.
It's allowed, but you have to get a permit for it, right?
No, if you go back to just renting your house for 6 months or yearly type,
They don't need a permit for that?
No, they have to register, though.
as
They
a
have to
rental.
There's a landlord-tenant registration.
All right, so where would they find that? How would they ask for that to get the information for a long-term rental?
Good morning, Katrina Jordan, Code Compliance Manager for the City of Fort Lauderdale. The landlord-tenant registration information is found on the city's website.
Okay.
So you can register for that, and then yes, you can rent the property long-term.
I'd strongly encourage you adapt to that lifestyle for the property.
Sure. Thank
Okay?
you.
These are people that are not going to go away, and I'm not going away. So let's deal with it.
Again, Magistrate, I respect your decision. I'm also in law school, by the way, so I
right.
totally understand.
Okay, well, you'll get an idea of what it's like when you've done it for 40 years. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you, folks.
Our next case is on page 10. Inspector Marco Aguilera, Supervisor Reggie White, presenting case number CE 221000564. Case address 2401 Cat K Lane. Owner Kevin Michael Wolfer. Property posted 11/16/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning, Reggie White, Code Compliance Supervisor, presenting case CE 2210-0564 for Inspector Marco Aguilera. The case was first cited at 2401 Cat K Lane on October 19th, 2022, and the following violations were cited. violation under 47-39A1B, 6B. There was unpermitted outdoor storage of household items scattered about the property, but it was not limited to mattresses, chairs, clothing items, and other miscellaneous items as well. 9-304B, the landscape at the property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are coconuts and palm fronds in the front yard. A pre-hearing inspection was performed on December 12, 2022, and the violations remained. In addition, contact was made with the property owner who is aware of the violations and today's hearing. Because the violations remain, the city is requesting 10 days to come into compliance and a fine of $100 per day for the outdoor storage and $50 a day for the lack of landscape maintenance. The photos are submitted and available for your review.
Okay. Yes, sir. Name and address?
Kevin Michael Wolfer. My address is 2401 Kankakee Lane, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay, you have a really nice home here.
I do.
Unfortunately, you're not taking care of it outside. And guess what? You're going to. Listen to me for a second.
Trying.
I'm going to let you speak, but looking at these pictures, this is, this is deplorable. This is absolutely disgusting and deplorable for your neighborhood to have to see that. So they're not going to have to see this.
I understand that.
You understand that?
Oh,
I'm going to give you 10 days to clean it up. If not, I'm going to impose the fine that he's requesting. I don't want the fine. I don't want the money. I want the compliance.
I understand that. I need you to understand it's not my doing, technically. I took in a renter who was suggested to me by someone who was renting from me. I was lied to about her having work. She had someone paying her rent for the first 2 months. They broke up. She found someone else to pay her rent. And then that went south. Mind you, I had no idea that she, well, she's a dumpster diver.
Did you ever drive by the property to see what it looks like?
I live on that property.
Okay. Well, again, I don't care about the tenant. That's going to be your obligation to do what you need to do. I want this cleaned up.
Well, she is gone. I have met both George and Sal from the city. They've both come by. George had suggested, I don't know why it wasn't suggested sooner, but he had suggested I talk about getting an extra, special bulk pickup. Sal came by yesterday and saw what little I was able to get out there myself. It would have been out in November if anybody who was living with me at the time had helped, but they did not. All I was able to put out there was a big metal gate that came from nowhere, well, her. And no, it wasn't picked up because no one could see it in the grass when they drove by. I understand that. I have been, like I said, she is no longer there. I've been trying my darndest to get this taken care of. I mean, I want to see my carport again. I mean, it's past.
Well, you are going to see your carport because you are going to get this fixed.
Oh, I am. I don't know if it's going to take 10 days.
Listen to me for a second. Listen to me for a second. There are companies that come up and pick up junk. They'll come in there. They'll pick it up. They'll dispose of it. And you pay them to do that service. So you don't have to go take it out to the curb. They'll come and do it. It's on the websites all over the place. I actually used one when I moved from my house. I had a lot of stuff I had to get rid of. They came, they take it, and you pay them to do it, and they take it to the landfill or wherever it goes.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, listen to me, please. I'm going to give you 10 days to get this done.
Okay.
If not, it's going to be a fine, as he's requested, of $100 a day. I will get to you. All right. And then the landscaping as well is going to be fixed in 10 days. That's going to be $50 a day if it's not done. So just do these things. But this cannot go on like this. This is just unacceptable. You get it, right? You don't want to live that way? Well, the people around you sure don't. And the city's not going to tolerate it. And I'm not going to. All right. Let me hear from the gentleman behind you, please. Yes, sir.
Jeff Rames, 2530 Gulfstream Lane. Again, I'm the Vice President, Lauderdale Isles Civic Association. I was here in that earlier case. This house has been a chronic problem in our neighborhood. It's probably the worst house in our neighborhood. This gentleman's excuses are all well and good, but this has been going on for a long time. In fact, there was a case, I would say, a month ago or so, where Marco went out there and cited them. They cleaned it up and they closed it out. And then bingo, as soon as that case was closed, they did it again. What I would like to ask you, driving here this morning, now they've got a huge pile of trash out on the swale. Our next bulk pickup, trash pickup, is January 7th. We really don't want to have to look at that for the next 3 weeks, and I'm asking you to tell him to put it back in the rest of the mess in the car.
Well, or you can hire somebody to take it away. He can't order a special bulk pickup, can he?
Well,
Can he and pay
if he
for it?
waits for the special pickup, it's going to be past the 10 days, so he'll be getting daily fines.
No, I'm not going to wait for that.
Right, so he would have to get his own service,
I'm asking,
personal
hold on.
service.
I'm asking, can he contract and call for a special bulk pickup today and get it out there before the 10 days?
I think that can be arranged. He can reach out to him. Actually, we have Inspector Wilson Quintero. He actually worked on the bulk trash team, so he can give more information on that.
Thank you.
So Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. on behalf of the city, he did mention he spoke to Sal and George. Those are the supervisors in bulk trash. If you contact 828-8000, 954-828-8000, you can request a special pickup. The items have to be on the swale. So if they're on the swale
they do
now,
have to be brought out.
they take a measurement. 10 cubic yards starts at $160, and then each additional yard after that is $13 a yard. So depending on the size of the pile, when they go out and measure it, they'll give you a price. You can pay with a check or a money order, and then usually it'll get abated within the same day or the following day, depending, what day of the week it is. So it is an option that he has available. The items just have to be on the swale.
But he's obligated to bring it out to the swale to do it. They
Yes.
won't go on his property.
No, they won't go on his property.
Well, that's why I'm pointing out there are these junk people that will come in, they'll walk into your garage. They did it for me. I paid for it. I had a lot of stuff, not as bad as this, but pretty bad. And I got it out of there because I was moving and it had to go. So that's what you're going to have to do. And this better not recur while I'm around. I'm going to tell you right now.
I plan on doing everything I can to apply.
Well, everything you can means you're going to get it done. That's everything you can means it will be done in 10 days. If not, these fines will start. And if it comes back to me, it's going to be a bigger problem.
Okay.
I don't want your money. The city doesn't want it either. I've said this repeatedly, and I mean it. They want this cleaned up, and then they want it to stay cleaned up.
Right.
You understand? So call, if you can call and get these people, you're going to have to move it all out to the swale if you use the city. If you use the people I'm talking about, like I told you for the third time, they'll come in and pick it up and take it out. You'll pay for it, but they do a good job and it'll be cleaned up.
Okay.
What about the stuff that's visible through the fence? What's the story there?
Yeah, they need to remove that too. They have like a canoe on the grass, and they have other items. They have a rug that's hanging on the
The
fence as
canoe
well.
belongs to me. It's a family heirloom.
No, that's fine,
Not
but
on the ground.
It's fine, but it can't be
propped
left.
up.
Excuse me.
It has not moved
All right.
in 30 years. It has not moved. Not,
That
no,
has to come
no
out too,
storm
right? One
has
second,
moved
please.
it.
Excuse me, I'm still talking.
I'm sorry.
Good, don't interrupt me, because I don't appreciate it. All that stuff has to be moved?
That's correct. The stuff on the side, we tried to get the best picture possible, but there are items that are stored on the side of the property as well.
Okay, that's gotta come, then you gotta fix those things. You just have to. Life is not gonna be the same. I'm the new sheriff in town. Let's look at it that way, all right? Do this. No, I don't want this fine to start. I need the compliance. So call the people I'm recommending. There's about 10 of them that do this kind of work
Okay.
and get it done, okay?
Got it.
And you'll appreciate where you live, because it's a very nice home. It can be a nice home, but let's bring it back to where it belongs. All right, sir?
Have been trying to.
Well, you're gonna have to do better, because you got 10 days to be done. Okay, thank you.
Next case, page 5. Inspector Dorian Collian, case number CE 2209-0334, case address 721 Southwest 7th Avenue, owner, 721 Tarpon River LLC, posted at property 11/29/2022, posted at City Hall 11/29/2022.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Cloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 22090334. Case address 721 Southwest 7th Avenue. This property was first inspected on September 13th, 2022, and the following violations were observed. 1812A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and/or its swale. 18.1, there are tools, cardboard boxes, and other miscellaneous items under the porch in the rear at this property that is creating a public nuisance. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably become infested or inhabited by rodents, vermin, or other wild animals, or may furnish a breeding place for mosquitoes. It also may threaten or endanger the public health, safety, or welfare, or may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. 9306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. There are areas of the exterior that is in disrepair. There's stains, missing peeling paint. The fascia is missing, part of the fascia. 9305A has been complied, and a pre-hearing inspection was conducted on December 12th, 22, and the violations remain as depicted in the photos for the record. The city is requesting 10 days to comply for violations 1812A and 18.1, or a fine in the amount of $50 a day thereafter. And the city is also requesting 63 days to comply for violation 9306, as well as a mandatory reappearance. I believe that would be February 14th. Yes, February 14th, 2023.
Valentine's Day, huh? Okay, and what would be the fine for 306 if it's not timely done?
Oh, I'm sorry, $50 a day thereafter.
All right, okay. Yes, sir, who are you?
Good morning. My name is Raf Yanak. I'm one of the partners of the property.
One of the
here.
owners?
Yes, one of the owners.
Okay.
First of all, you're doing a fine job as a new magistrate, scaring everybody. I hope you take it easy a bit on me.
You know, I want people to understand, I'm not here to scare people. I want compliance.
Right.
I'm going to do what it takes to get compliance. These people are doing their job, then they come to me and expect me to do mine.
Right.
I'm new, and I'm going to do it, and I don't want to scare people. I want them to comply.
All right.
So
All
get
right.
it done.
All right.
This property is also very bad shape.
So I'll tell you, we purchased this earlier this year, a few months ago, with the intention of doing a new construction. We're going to build some townhouses here. So the house, we purchased it abandoned. It continues to be abandoned. I have some pictures if I could bring to you. That was from yesterday afternoon, if I may.
Show it to the,
It's
excuse me, the clerk.
okay. It's time-stamped, just showing the front of the house and the rear of the house, because it's not as bad as it's depicted on those pictures. I took these, you can see the whole property. We've been maintaining the landscaping. We trim the trees. We clean up the debris. There is some garbage in the back, like there's like a little overhang or whatever. There's some garbage that's accumulated there that we've thrown out. But that's as of yesterday, about midday. So our idea is to.
These back?
No, you can have those or submit them or whatever.
Exhibit?
So I'm just requesting, our architect hasn't started working on the plans to submit to the city to do the demolition and development. That's going to take quite a few months. We don't have a problem maintaining it clean and all that, but we're not going to repair the fascia because we're going to demolish the house. So if we could have.
But what you're going to do is get it clean, because it's not going to remain like this.
In the pictures that I just submitted.
I don't see the pictures that they don't show me. Have you been out there recently?
One of the inspectors went out there yesterday, and it was still, it's.
If you tell me what you want me to clean, I'll clean.
Still
but
in violation, even with that being cleaned up, it's still a
Okay,
violation.
so it's better, and that's appreciated.
Okay.
But it's going to be complete
Okay.
within 10 days or the fines start. Like I tell everybody, the same thing.
So the clean is just the debris that you want me to clean, not the fascia and all those
So-
other violations,
Well,
right?
those things have to be done, again.
Because those aren't going to be done for a while.
Excuse me, the exterior walls, structural parts, including fascia and soffits, are in disrepair. You have 63 days to either get it demoed or get those fixed. It's a very old building. It probably is not worth saving. I don't really know, but if your intent is to take it down, apply for a demo permit and take it down. But in the meantime, clear the property of this stuff.
Okay.
all of it.
Okay, another question would be, can we just fence it in, like the temporary construction
No, you
fence that we
can't
do
hide,
to?
no, you can't hide this stuff. And I can see through this window here, there's a mess inside the place. So it looks like an unsafe structure. It's,
Yeah, the house, like I said.
it's
all
susceptible to burning. So,
Yes. And also, there's one of the pictures, you can't really see it too well, where the spider webs, there's actually a cat inside the property, which I had spoke to, I think it was.
Yeah,
this
we got
on the
rid of
phone.
the cat.
So there's actual animals living inside the home.
so
as well.
feral animals have already made a home there. I'm
Yes.
surprised they would want to live there. But
Well, maybe there's,
maybe they have no place to
infestation
go.
of rats, I'm not sure that's.
Yeah, well, it's
keeping them there.
It's bad.
Shade from the sun.
It's bad, but it's got to be addressed.
Okay, so we got to clean it in 10 days, and then we have 63 days to demo the property, is that
Is
correct?
either repair the
Well, we're not gonna repair it 'cause we're gonna demo-
Or
demo.
demo, it looks like it should be demoed. It's
Yeah, you can't save
in
that.
bad shape,
You can't save that.
but the inside is full of stuff as well.
Is there any way for the demoing to get 90 days just because it takes a while to do the permitting and the city and all that stuff?
You could
So
bring him back.
Magistrate, I'm sorry, I also wanted to add that when I spoke to the gentleman on the phone, he basically said that he did not want to demo the property because he would have to add grass. That was his exact words to me. So he does know that it either has to be repaired or demoed, and he's had plenty of time to do it. There are one neighboring property on this side is also vacant, but there is somebody that lives right next door.
Yeah, they just demoed the house next door, one of the houses next door.
Yes.
Okay, well, again, you got 63 days to do this work on the house itself.
Okay.
With the 10 days, I want all this stuff gone.
Yeah, it's been cleaned
Gone.
up. I'll clean up the rest of it.
Whatever's inside there that's dangerous, we're not really there for that case yet, but.
Well, when you say cleaning, it's the stuff that's out back in the porch and the side of the house,
Whatever's
correct?
visible in these photos, this has got to go. All that stuff right there. Do you see?
Right, but there's a picture of it inside
Yes,
the house.
that's the 18-1 violation. It's on a porch underneath the
Correct.
roof.
It's like a hanging porch,
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
porch.
Okay.
All that stuff goes. All the stuff that's strewn through the yard, the brush, everything else.
The dilapidated shed could be considered debris as well. It's
it's just a shed. Can I leave that for the demolition of the house? I'll get rid of the trash.
If the shed is falling down, you better take it out of there now.
Okay.
Take it out of there now. But you got 10 days to do that part of it. 63 days to
Can
do
I
the
get
other part?
14 days for the debris?
No.
All right.
Okay? And then there's, again, $100 a day if not timely done. Don't want the money, want the compliance. 50 for the other issue, for the exterior building. Unless you take it down, and if you're out working on a demo permit, you could let her know you've applied for one, and I would be willing to grant more time if you have applied for a demo permit and it's getting processed.
Okay.
I don't see you can save this building. I don't
No,
know.
no, no. Like I
Again,
said,
I'm a lawyer, what do I know?
No, we bought it to demo it. That was the intention.
Okay, all right.
And also, I'm sorry, a mandatory reappearance, please.
Yes, what did we do for a date on that? It'll just be whatever.
That
we
was
issue, right?
February 4th.
February 14th.
14th.
All right, so you.
Well, yes, February 14th.
All right,
Sorry.
so we're going to come back February 14th, either myself or the other magistrate, but they want you back to see what you're doing here.
Good enough.
All right?
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks.
Don't
Thank
be
you.
scared.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Just comply.
Our next case is on page 20. Inspector Karen Proto, case number CE 22070751, case address 2201 Northwest 6th Court. Owner Anthony Willis Jr. This case was first heard on 10/11/22 to comply by 11/8/22. 2 sections comply to $50 per day, $3,300 accrued. 5 sections not comply to $50 per day, $8,750 accrued. A total of $12,050 has accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning. Inspector Proto for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case and address is read into the records. The case was presented before Special Magistrate on 10/11/22, where Magistrate Prudy approved the finding of fact. These violations were first cited on 7/26/22. A total of eight inspections were made on the property. I re-inspected a property on 12/11/22, and the case is not in compliance. The city is recommending
anything
full
in-
imposition of
is
fines.
anything in compliance? Okay, all right. Go ahead, I'm sorry. So some of the things are in compliance?
2 violations.
Which ones, please?
You need to say?
I need to know what they are.
No,
I never put that up.
Oh, it says here? Where? I don't see it on my,
Huh? No, 9306 is in compliance. All other violations remain.
And 9313A is also noted as in compliance.
9313A is in compliance.
okay, so the last one, you got the address numbers, and 306, you said,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
was resolve the exterior walls, but everything else remains?
yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir, your name and, sir?
Hello, my name is Anthony Willis. I reside at 2201 Northwest 6th Court. I'm working on everything. The house has been completely painted. It's blue. I dropped new
It looks
sod
good.
down.
It looks good.
Yeah, I dropped new sod down. I'm waiting for rocks to come next week. Bulk pickup is this upcoming Monday. So the remaining trash and debris that's on the side of the house and the rear of the house is getting moved to the swale area for bulk pickup. The rocks is going in the back, so the jet ski trailers and all that stuff, whatever, will be on the rocks in the back. And I think that probably will satisfy everything.
Okay, well,
I repaired the
got
fence.
8 violations, 2 are addressed. The house does look better, correct? It's been painted?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so you got overgrowth, trash, and rubbish. That's got to be, how much time did we want to give them to get this done?
I mean,
1 second.
okay, sorry.
You did a finding of fact.
That needs to be done immediately. It's an ongoing issue, so I can't.
I want to give them
take
some time.
Too much time, 5 days.
Okay, well, let me do 10. I've been doing 10. I'll work with 10, but it's a neighborhood issue that's got to be done.
Okay, 10 days.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 10 days to get this overgrowth, trash, rubbish done. Get it out of like these other people. You're gonna be living the same way they are, so the people around you don't have to see this. Please clean it up. Cut the lawn. Let's see.
What about the fence?
The fence has to be fixed. What are you gonna do about this fence? Either take it down or get it repaired.
I already started repairing it.
You gonna repair it?
Yeah.
You need a permit to do that, right?
No, he doesn't need permit
Need a
for
permit for
repairs,
that?
no.
Okay.
Unless he puts up a new fence. He's got-
Okay, so then you want to repair the fence. Has broken parts, is sagging and leaning. That's something you can do in 10 days, all right? And then the landscape needs to be fixed,
Well,
it's messy there, as you can see,
yeah.
okay? These are things, 10 days to do it, okay? Right before Christmas, I'll get it all done, it'll be a nice Christmas present to you and the neighborhood, all right?
Oh, and what about the vehicles and the jet ski?
So that's why I said I got rocks coming. Because when they drop the rocks off or like the sod, they drop it in the driveway. So I gotta move it to the side of the house. So because I understand it has to be on like a gravel surface or paved surface or something like that. So that stuff is going there. As you see in the new pictures, pictures I took this morning, a lot of stuff is already in the front as it is already.
Okay, but again, the vehicles, trailers, jet skis are parked on grass, you can't
No,
do
that's
that.
what I'm saying. They're not on the grass anymore.
They're not on the grass.
And then the ones, like I said, I have rocks coming to place on the side because it's just a clutter. So whatever jet ski trailer or whatever that I do have, it'll be placed there.
I'm not clear what he wants.
Okay, so in the pictures where it shows the white van, the only reason why I was parking there was because that palm tree was leaning and it was dropping coconuts. And it's a very tall tree, I couldn't cut it. So that area there, I'm just gonna rock off. I'm just gonna place rocks
But
there.
you need a permit to do that, right?
Not
No,
for-
no, the majority of his property has grass, so that small portion.
Okay, but the van can't be parked on the grass, and nor can jet
Unless he's
skis.
doing a complete driveway, absolutely, he'd have to
Okay,
get
all right. Well,
permission from the
Can you
city.
get this stuff done in 10 days? Is that reasonable?
To put the rocks down? Yeah, 10 days should be ample
Okay,
enough time.
all right, 10 days.
Know when the rocks are coming in?
So, like, let's say I requested today. Today's Tuesday. They usually like a buffer day. The thing is that once they drop the rocks, the driveway is going to be packed. So I have to move the vehicles because bulk pickup is this upcoming Monday. I use that way to dump the trash and stuff. So I say a little bit more than 10 days if possible because this week here I'll be cleaning out the back. I need that space there. But when they drop the stuff in the thing, I'm going to park.
If you get all the junk off the property in 10 days, I'll give you another 5 days, 15 days total to do the rock.
Okay.
All right, but I want that stuff off the property. All the junk has got to be gone. Don't want to see it. Don't want the neighbors to have to see it anymore, including all this brush and everything else. Anything else that's as trash around there, or garbage, or debris, gone, right?
Yeah, not a
You
problem.
live here, right?
Yes,
Okay, let's make it look like you are proud of it. And that's what you're gonna do for me, right?
yes.
Okay, sir. 15 days to do the rock work. And what are the fines that you recommend?
I'm going to leave that up to your discretion.
So the fines were already there, Your Honor, so it
sure.
would just be to stay the fines.
Okay, all right.
And then give the property owner some additional time. And just so we're clear for the order purposes, it's 10 days for the overgrowth, trash, and debris,
Right,
and then 15 days for the other items,
for this parking area.
for the parking area and the fence.
Right. So this way, the fines will stop. They were running, but now I'm going to stop them for you, so you're not having to pay for things while you're trying to fix it. But you'd better fix it, or I'm going to be very unhappy. And
I understand. I
You don't want me
appreciate it.
unhappy. All right? Okay, let's do that.
Not a problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 32 with Inspector Bover-Xantis. Supervisor White presenting. Case number CE 220300756. Case address 1413 Northwest 11th Street. Owner Nissim and Yafa Amir. This case was first heard on 7/28/22 to comply by 9/1/22. Suspended 10/27/22 through 11/24/22. Two sections not complied at $50 per day. $7,500 is accrued. Two sections complied at $50 per day. $400 accrued. A total of $7,900 has accrued, and this is a request for an extension.
Good morning again, Special Magistrate Julio Davila, City of Fort Lauderdale Co-Compliance Supervisor on behalf of Inspector Bover-Xantis, presenting a case and address as read. This case was first heard on August 9th, 2022, where the magistrate ruled in favor of the city and the property owner was ordered 35 days to correct the violations. This case also came before the magistrate for a second time on the 27th of October, and the property owner was granted 28 additional a day extension. The notice was posted on the property on October 30th, 2022. This hearing, as a manager mentioned, is a request for an extension, and the property owner is here to make that request. There has been some progress on the violations. I met with the owner prior to the hearing, and he was showing me some pictures of progress.
Is the city objecting to a further extension?
No, and he believes he can, there's been progress, and he believes he can finalize everything within 35 days.
Okay. Yes, sir. Tell us your name and address.
Good morning, Your Majesty. My name is Nissim Amir. Basically, the violation that I had from August is all completed. I just need the inspector to come and see if there is anything I need to do. Basically, it's all nice and nobody's lived there.
It's all fixed now?
It's all fixed right now, according to whatever do. Maybe the grass outside the property.
Well, did you fix the lawn? Because look, you see that picture right there?
That's the outside. I mean, I put some greens over there, but it's not growing that fast.
Did you put sod there?
Sod.
So it's all green now?
It's not green like the grass green, but it's
Well,
a
that's what it
very
has to
hard
be.
because people drive there.
I'm going to give you time to do that. You need to do that. It has to look green like the rest of the yard. That can't look like that. Is that the swale?
Yeah, like we discussed earlier, you're gonna need to put a little bit more grass in there within those 35 days and finish the fence in order to come into compliance.
Yes.
Okay.
No
Your Honor, if I could, I just had a couple questions. So on the agenda, it notes that the exterior walls have not been maintained, et cetera, which says it's not in compliance, but it's clear from the photo dated November 30th, which is a fabulous day because it's my birthday, was painted. So that would be in compliance, correct? As of
Yes.
November 30th? Okay, so 9-306 is actually in compliance.
Oh, great.
As of November 30th.
Okay.
And then the chain link fence says it is in compliance, but as you can see from these pictures, there's poles that remain there.
Well,
Those poles can't remain there like that.
yeah, I don't believe those poles were part of the original chain link fence. I think that it was complied by removing it, and now, if I'm not mistaken, you're putting in a new fence in
I'm
there?
putting a new fence.
Does he need a permit for that? Yes?
Yes.
Did you get a permit to do that?
I will get a permit, sir.
Okay, you need to get a permit
That's
for
why,
that.
that's why.
So those posts are there to put a new
Yes.
fence, but you need a permit. Okay, so, Mr. Davila, how much time would you like to?
35 days, I think, should be fine.
35 days, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're
Thank
gonna
you
get
very
all
much.
this stuff done, right? You made
Thank
some
you.
progress, and that's appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Let's just finish it up. It's a nice little house. Let's make it look good, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next case is on page 29. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., case number CE 22060330, case address 524 Northwest 21st Terrace, owner Kodos Investments SALLC. This case was first heard on 10/11/22 to comply by 11/15/22. Two sections not complied at $50 per day, $2,800 accrued, and this is a request for an extension.
Good morning, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., number 317, presented on behalf of the city. Case number and address as read. This case was first heard on 10/11/22, where Magistrate Purdy ruled in favor for the city, and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at this property by 11/15/22. I've been in contact with the property owner, and they're requesting an extension of time. The issue is they have permits that are pending in order to complete the corrections for these violations that were cited that ran fines. They have to get the permits inspected and approved, and then they can continue the work. So he's here to speak
What do they
on
need
that.
permits for? Tell me your name first,
Sorry.
your name.
My name is Edwin Colon. I work for Call Investment. I represent for them today. So we asked, when we pull a permit on the city, we have here all the notes that changes to redone the whole property. So we working on that, and then the properties outside is clean it.
Okay, so the walls of this building have to be maintained. You're gonna do that, painting or cleaning, whatever it takes?
Well, if you say, I would do
It says stains, and stains,
This
there's
is a
missing
red
paint.
color. Red color and outside.
Well, it looks like it says there's stains and it's missing, there's peeling paint. So you're gonna fix that, right?
All right.
Well,
If-
does
if-
he know
if
what
it's-
to do?
Well, so what happened, they got permits for windows, for plumbing, for all kind of things. So
boarded up,
what,
right?
what they spoke to me about previously was, in order for them to paint, they have to get the windows approved and all the other
Makes
things
sense, right.
approved so that they can take the boards off and do everything. So
Okay.
until they get everything approved, then they can't get to the paint.
Okay, did
because
they get what's
need to-
called a
all kind
boards
of
up?
falls in place. The boards are still up.
Do they need a certificate, it says?
Yeah, so
Has
what
to get
happened,
that.
what happened is they boarded it up, they didn't obtain a certificate. They have case with a building department for, not having permits, so they have after-the-fact permits that are awaiting reply right now in
Oh,
the
for the
system.
windows.
For plumbing, mechanical, windows, for everything,
the
so.
windows are in.
They're redoing the whole
Going to
property.
redo the whole house.
They just have corrections that need to be made on the permits, and
Okay.
so the building
But they
department
have
has a case
applied.
with them already for that, so.
Have applied, they're pending, and they're doing.
Yeah,
this-
so once everything gets approved and the permits are issued, then they can continue work and then they can correct all these violations. So they're just requesting an extension.
How much time do you think we should accord him at this point?
It's up to your discretion. I don't
sort of need to
foresee,
know how much
you
time it
know,
would take to do
I don't
it.
foresee maybe 35 days
Okay.
so that they can get everything corrected and have everything
A
started.
mandatory reappear or what?
What'd you say, Lauren?
It's either 29 or 44 days.
29 or 44? So
I'll give him the 44. it's
44,
fine.
yeah, 44.
You do need some time here.
Yeah, because the problem is like.
It's the holidays.
When
too.
we submit the permits and we submit the cities say change this and change that. But if you want to, we come by here to say the progress, whatever is your decision.
You want them back?
Yeah, we could do mandatory.
Let's do a reappearance. We require you to come back in 44 days. Is that the deal?
January 26th, she said.
January 26th, to come back and hopefully you
All
make
right,
it.
sir.
But I need to see that you made progress.
Yeah, we are in the progress.
Okay, it sounds like you're working on it. It's a nice little house if you fix it up, okay?
All right, sir. Have a
All right,
nice,
sir.
beautiful day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 6 with Inspector Karen Proto. Case number CE 22090791. Case address 2230 Northwest 22nd Street. Owner Agape Worship Center. Property posted 11/14/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Inspector Proto for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22090791. Address 2230 Northwest 22nd Street. This is a repeat violation of Code Section 18-12A. Previous case number CE 22100609. The property was issued a violation by Officer Bovary Exantis on 10/1/22 and given 10 days to comply. It was complied on 10/25/22. The fine amount was $100 a day, total fines of $1,200.
So it is in compliance now.
Yes.
All right, that's good to hear. Yes, sir.
I'm the pastor, Darnell Mack.
Your name?
Darnell Mack. I had a stroke, that's why I'm stuttering a little bit. When that man won in Philadelphia, he was debating, he had a stroke too. He was debating. But I'm gonna use this principle. The 3B, be ready, be brief, and be seated. So, we have a building permit, 1630-2180. And the property that we got first sighted on, it was outside. The city owner, eminent domain, the city owned it. But then they come on the property and they cited me again. That's double jeopardy, ain't it? You got to do everything at the same time. You can't keep coming back. So they say repeat it. That's not repeating, but that should have been concurrently. You should have been concurrently. So I'm here today to answer for something that I have no business being charged, being cited on. See, but we paid the first one because I had just had a stroke, and I couldn't see them. I couldn't read them, but because my speech was so bad. But it's better now. And Karen was very professional. She was very professional. And then when I showed her they cut the grass. That was the first thing. It said remove all the debris outside.
Let me stop you for a second. Why is he here? Why is
Because
this
it's
case-
a reoccurring, it's a repeat, a repeat
So
violation.
it was in compliance?
So it was in compliance, it came to magistrate, I mean, it didn't come to magistrate, it was in compliance, and now it happened again in the
So
same.
what has happened now? Is this the way, this is from October. What does it look like now?
It's complied.
So why is it here is my question.
Special Magistrate Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor. So typically with repeat violations, what we do often is we will, when we go out there and we observe the violation, so since it's a repeat, we calculate the amount of days that it's been in repeat, and then we bring them before you with the amount of fines that it accrued as a repeat violation or the days the property was in repeat out of compliance. So I believe the full amount is $1,200, what it accrued to until it finally was corrected.
Okay, so that's what they currently owe us, $1,200, right?
Yes, sir.
But
It was.
But
yes,
it's
sir.
now in compliance. All right, do I have the ability to reduce that if I wish?
Yes.
Yes, that is under.
Okay, I am gonna reduce that for you
Thank you.
to $400.
I ain't got that.
Well, I'm gonna give you 30 days to pay it.
All right. Can you lend me 400 to them?
No, you're gonna pay it. You got a church, ask for the people to help pay for it. That's what the church people are supposed to do.
Church people ain't got no money.
Well, they're gonna have to go past the basket, but that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, all right.
$400 within 30 days.
All right.
Then, don't let it happen again. because it's, for the repeat violation, are very serious under state law and city ordinance.
But let me ask you a
Excuse
question.
me, I'm still talking.
Go ahead, talk.
So don't let it happen again. Whoever's supposed to be taking care of it needs to be taking care of it. Don't bring it back to me.
Can the code people go on their property with a permit?
The code people can do what they're allowed to do.
No, they can't do that. That's under the building department, not the code department.
Code people-
It's under the building
The code
department.
people took pictures from the street, so that's
No,
what they're.
they come on the property and took that man right there did that. He came on my property and took. He wasn't supposed to take no picture.
Okay, well, the code people know what they're supposed to do, and if they're not doing it properly, then they'll.
Special Magistrate, yeah, when I initially got the complaint of it being a repeat violation, I went over there and I asked who I could speak with in reference to this issue, and I met with the pastor, and we both jointly walked the site together.
Okay.
And I did take some photos.
So you had
advised
permission?
them of.
He wasn't supposed to take no photo. He was not supposed to do that.
That's what he does. That's their job.
No, not on the property.
Excuse me, don't interrupt me, because I don't like it.
I don't like when.
Excuse me, don't interrupt me. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to talk, and then I'll let you talk. He's allowed to take photos because that's what they do under state law and city ordinance, and you walk the property with him.
No.
So look, let's get it fixed. It's fixed. Keep it fixed, and I've reduced it from 1,200 to 1/3 of that, because I want to help you out with and get it done and safe. 1,200 is a lot of money. I get that.
Yeah.
400 still is too, but you owe that because that's what the fines are for having been that way. That's my ruling. That's my order.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Special Magistrate.
God on ask for a 10.
That's all from the. Yeah. And just for the record, all the other pictures that were taken by the inspector, as you can see, were from the street.
Yeah, I saw that. They're from the street. Okay, that's the ruling.
Thank you.
Okay, where are we?
Next case, page 31, Inspector Bovary Exantis, Julio Davilo, presenting case number CE 2107-0252, owner Willie James Felton. First heard 10/27/2022, complied by 11/24/2022. 5 sections not complied at $25 per day. Total accrual $2,375, and the fines continue to accrue.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hello again, Special Magistrate Julio Davila, City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Supervisor on behalf of Inspector Bovary Exantis. Case and address is read. This case was first heard on October 27th, 2022, and the magistrate ruled in favor of the city, and the property owner was ordered 28 days to correct all the violations. A notice of violation was posted on the property on October 30th, 2022. This is a hearing for an extension, and the property owner is here to make that request. The city has no objection to granting an extension.
Okay, so are all these things still not done?
That
Are
is
any of them
correct.
done?
That is correct.
Yes, sir. Your name?
Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is John Felton. I'm the son of Willie Felton. When I came here, I agreed to make all the improvements. So far, I have. Only thing that I'm missing is kind of hard to get sod right now. Can I get an extension so I can get some sod to
Yes,
put down and
well-
everything will be completed?
We're okay with that, right? To give them some
Yes,
time?
we do not object to an extension.
How much time do you want to give for that? Like a 35-day?
You think you'll be able to do it within 35 days, get some sod?
Not a
Either
problem.
29 or 40.
They just got a problem getting the sod in. You know, when they get it in, I can go and pick it up and put it in.
Is 29 days okay?
29 days, 35, whatever you can give me. I'll be fine.
Let's give them, there's
20.
it's 44 days. Let's give them the full time to do that.
Yes,
More
sir.
time than you asked for, okay?
Thank you, sir.
44 days. But you need to get it done for us, okay?
I will.
All right, sir. Thanks for coming down.
I do appreciate it.
We'll give the extension. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Sir, and if I could suggest, you may want to go west, out by like Southwest Ranches in that area. There, I live near there. There's a lot of nurseries and they have a lot of sod.
Yeah, and Davey.
Okay, because
Davey
I
has a
usually
lot.
go right on
Yeah.
21st Street and 19th, but
No, and you're
Yeah.
paying a lot more here. If you go out farther west, it's cheaper. You'll get it there. And
Yeah,
Davey,
and there's
Davey
a
has a lot of places.
okay, thanks.
Southwest Ranches, yeah, you'll have good luck out there.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Next case, page 19. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., case number CE 2209-0655, case address 2115 Northeast 54th Court, owner 2115 Northeast 54th Court LLC, cited 9/23/22 to comply by 9/23/2022. Two sections complied at $200, totaling $800. City requests full amount, appeal deadline 10/8/2022, and no appeal received.
Good morning, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., number 317, presented on behalf of the city. Case number CE 2209-0655, case address 2115 Northeast 54 Court. This property was first inspected on 9/23/22 following a complaint from customer service in reference to a party, noise, and parking at this vacation rental. The following violations were found. 15-278.1E, there is a Chapter 15, Article 10 Vacation Rental Standards parking violation occurring at this property. All vehicles associated with the vacation rental must be parked within a driveway located on the subject property and in compliance with this code. 15-278.2B, the maximum occupancy of the property is being exceeded. There were at least 12 confirmed guests counted during this inspection of the property. The maximum allowed for gatherings at this specific property is a total of 9. Citations were posted to the building wall due to the renters not wanting to speak with me during the inspection. I also contacted the responsible party and explained the violation and how to correct it. A reinspection was conducted later on that evening and the violations had been brought into compliance. There's been no appeals made for these citations. City is requesting full imposition.
Okay. Yes, ladies, name, address, capacity with the property.
Good morning. My name is Yulia Kononova. I'm a daughter of Olga Kononova.
You're the what?
Daughter of Olga Kononova. Daughter?
The owner.
Yeah, she's the owner, and I'm her daughter, Yulia Kononova.
Okay.
About that specific evening, what happened, we had a guest. It was 6 adults and 2 children. We received a call about the complaint of the noise in the party. It was around, I think, like 9 p.m. We have some surveillance on the front, on the back, which we looked at that time at the pool. I have some pictures I can show you.
What about the pictures they're showing me here?
So there was a child party, not a party, sorry. There was a guest of 6 people, adults and 2 kids, and turned out that there was a little birthday celebration for a little girl. So they have some guests coming, but everything was resolved before ordinance times. We tried to contact the guests, and as the camera shows, there was a police officer coming in at 10:28 p.m. and everything was cleared. So during the day, they had some guests coming to congratulate the little girl. On the pool, we only show, they were complaining about noise, but there was only like 2 or 3 kids under age of 13, boys playing in the pool area, which if you allow me, I will share the pictures.
So, Your Honor, if I could, and I apologize.
No.
For the record, Rhonda Montoya Hassan. So, under the city code, section 11-19G, that section states failure of a violator to file a written request for an administrative hearing within 15 days after the date of the citation violation notice shall constitute a waiver of the violator's right to an administrative hearing to contest the citation violation notice and is deemed an admission of the violation, and civil penalties shall be assessed and costs may be assessed accordingly. So without an appeal, the magistrate's authority is limited to assessing the fines. And in this case, I'm also advised that there is a corrected amount. It is not $800. Indeed, it's $400.
Oh, okay. Well, that's helpful, right? But again, you didn't appeal. It told you on the notice, if you want to argue about it or contest it is the word, then you would have to file an appeal. You or your mom didn't do that on time, but it's not $800 they're seeking, it's only $400. And I am going to impose that because there's cars out in the street that are not allowed to be there. I don't care if it's for a little kid or whoever. They can't be parked like that. And so she's got to be mindful that when people visit, they're not allowed to park, either they park on their property or they're gonna have to park someplace else that complies with city
May I-
ordinance on parking. Okay?
May I just add something? My mom is managing the property herself and I'm helping her. We were not aware of, we received a note and it wasn't clear. It says if you fail to appear at the hearing, which it will proceed in absence. We didn't know anything about appeal.
It says it on the
process.
notice, right?
So, yeah, so what she's referring to is the notice for hearing today. The civil citation form on the front says in bold that you have 15 calendar days upon service of the citation, or it will constitute a waiver to your right to appeal and shall constitute an admission to the violation.
Okay.
And then additionally, on the back, in bold, in large font, and in red, it talks about the administrative appeal, says how you contest it, where, there's an email address, and then again, in red, in all caps, in bold, it says basically what the city code section, basically word for word, saying that,
Okay.
it
So-
constitutes a violation and it's deemed an admission.
So when you first got the notice with all the red lettering and it told you what to do, you don't have that with you apparently, but that's what was issued to her or whoever, and you didn't do it on time. So I don't have authority to reduce this any further than the 400 that's already there. That's what has to be paid. It's not 800, so, you're fortunate that way, or it would be worse, because I wouldn't even be able to reduce that. But it's 400, and I can't reduce that any further.
And I know we speak a lot with the officer. I really appreciate his help, and we always work to resolve any issues. I apologize. We are not aware of how that works. It's we bought a property in the beginning of this year.
If you're going to operate a
Yeah.
vacation
No, I
rental,
know.
you heard me talk about the other man who did
Yeah.
this. And I'm going to take these very seriously. I don't want to see you come back here, or her. You're going to have to read what it says you can do, and then do what you're allowed and required to do. But that means for parking, for noise, for number of people in the unit, for advertising, it's all written in clear, understandable English, what you can and cannot do. And that needs to be followed. No one wants to fine you for this like they're doing, but that's what they had to do.
No, I've read all the ordinances and we comply with that, and we have a note about the parking, and we know that, I know that it's not exceed over 20 people at the same period of time, and that it's 6 adults and no more than 4 kids. I know all of that. I just didn't know how to proceed with the case, I guess. I apologize for that.
Gotcha. And Senior Inspector Champagne with Vacation Rentals, he wanted to make a statement.
Your magistrate. Okay, what I'll do is I'll be glad to go out and talk to them in the
Please.
hall and explain whatever they need, or leave my card for that.
Great.
And again, just to let you know, if you heard earlier, that means you had 2 violations. Unfortunately, if you get another violation, that would be 3 violations, which means you would also get cited for taking your license for 180 days.
So another violation, like that first guy that we had, their ability is taken away for 6 months because they got 3 violations in a period of time, Leonard, is that the idea?
On the third violation itself, you would have the fine, but so that would be, if you had a fine that alone went, let's say $200 or repeat $400, but also on top of that would be, then we would charge for a violation 180 days to suspend your license like I originally did in the other case.
Okay, I'm going to want you to explain that to them where they have
I'll be
time
glad to do that.
digest it. But you don't want another violation, or all of a sudden you can't use it for 6 months. You probably can do this fine. If you can operate under the law, that'll be fine. It's a nice little house, but you must comply, and you don't want another violation. I don't want to have to take away your a right to use it for 6 months, which is a lot of time, okay? So work with him. He's going to give you a card so you know exactly what to do, and he'll probably give you the ordinance or.
Yeah, I'll explain to her about a repeat violation, a regular
Yes.
violation, and
Okay.
then the third violation that could be taking away the license. I'll be
All right,
glad
so
to.
you're going to give them your card, Leonard?
And I have my card, and I'll go out in the hall and talk to them.
Okay,
about
all
it.
right. Okay, ladies, so I have to uphold the fine, but he's going to talk with you so you know going forward what to do to be careful, okay?
And there is no way to appeal those citations anymore, right? They will
No,
be on file?
you missed the time to do that.
Okay.
You have to read, when you first get the notice, you have to read it. It was very clear what you had to do, and whether I don't know what happened, but she didn't do it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 12. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., case number CE 22080005, case address 2308 Northwest 6th Place. Owner Anthony Lewis Thomas, property posted 11/15/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning, Inspector Quintero Jr. present on behalf of the city, case number CE 22080005, case address 2308 Northwest 6th Place. This property was first inspected on August 1st, 22, and the following violations were observed. 47-34.1.8.1. There is non-permitted outdoor storage of goods and materials on this property, including but not limited to paint buckets, wood, poles, miscellaneous items. This is an illegal land use per the ULDR of this RS8 zoned residential property. This is a recurring violation of case number CE 18011034. 18-4C, there is a derelict vehicle being parked or stored on the driveway of this property, gold Chevrolet Silverado pickup with flat tires. This is a recurring violation of case number CE 18011034. 9-306, the exterior building walls, including fascia and soffits, have stains and missing peeling paint. 9-305B, the landscape at this property and swale is not being maintained and needing well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. The gravel is also not well graded and has weeds growing throughout. This is a recurring violation of case number CE 18011034. 9-304B, the driveway at this property is not being maintained. The concrete surface is cracked and there are areas of bare dirt. This is a recurring violation of case number CE 18011034. Inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on BCPA records on August 1st, 22. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on 12/8/22 and the violations remain. I have met with and been in contact with the property owner who is here to request for additional time. We're recommending, speaking with him, we recommended 63 days to come into compliance or a fine of $25 a day thereafter for each violation.
Okay. All right, 1 second. Yes, sir, your name?
Anthony Thomas.
Okay, you're the owner, right?
Yes.
And you spoke with him like he talked about? So you
Yes.
need 63 days to get all this stuff done, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will give you that as he's requested, but you need to do it. You've already seen how I am with other people when they leave junk in the yard or derelict vehicles. I'm not going to tolerate that because the neighborhood shouldn't have to put up with that. So you can't use your house like that. It's got to be addressed. Yes?
Yes.
You understand, right?
Yes.
Okay, 63 days is a long time, plenty of time to get this done, fix the landscaping, get that vehicle towed, sold, whatever, but get it off the property, and the junk has to come off the property. All the stuff that's stored there can't be out there like that anymore, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, sir. Okay.
He also has another case on page 13
Okay,
for 2312 Northwest 6th Place. Case number CE 22080008, property posted 11/15/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
is this next door or something?
This is a vacant lot. It's a vacant
Okay,
lot. It's
vacant
two
lot, okay.
parcels, yeah, so it's
All
a
right.
vacant lot that he owns next door. Case and address as read, for the record, this property was first inspected on August 1st, 2022, and the following violations were observed. 47-21.11.A, the landscape at this property and swale is not being maintained and need a well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 47-34.1.8.1, there is non-permitted outdoor
Let me
storage.
stop for a second. That's the picture we're talking about?
Yes, that vacant lot there.
Okay, okay.
Outdoor storage of goods and materials on this, including but not limited to concrete block, is an illegal land use per the ULDR of this RS8 zoned residential property, which has no primary use due to being a vacant lot. This is a recurring violation of case number CE 18011038. Inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on BCPA records on August 1st, 22. Pre-hearing inspection was conducted on 12/8/22 and the violations remain. And same thing, I've been in contact with the gentleman, same as The other property, 63 days or $25 a day.
Okay, so what's the difference between recurring and repeat?
So recurring, it was cited previously and it never made it to a hearing, was never brought as a finding of fact. It complied before.
Oh, it complied.
It complied
But then it
before.
came back
But then
and
it
it
came back,
recurred.
so it recurred.
But a repeat is a
Yeah,
violation.
a repeat would be if it came to a hearing and
Had an
the
order,
magistrate
and
ruled
then
the
happened
order,
again.
and then it happened
Oh,
again.
okay,
yes.
all right. So we want to give him the same period of time for this as well?
Yeah, it's the same. They're both his properties. You know, he's on a fixed income, and you know,
I
trying
can
to
see
work
what
with
he's done is he's trying to keep people off the property by, like, making a sort of a fence
Yeah.
there, but he can't do that way.
No.
Right? So you might need to do a fence or something. Are people parking on your property there? Is that what happens?
No, it's a lot of activity go on when it's vacant like that. They can drive right up in there. I don't have the cops pull cars out of there a couple of times.
Okay, well, we got to clean this up too, okay? I'll give you the same amount of time.
Okay.
63 days.
How do we clean it up? Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to put the grass where it belongs in there and take those boards and the cinder block off there. Just can't leave it like that. And if you want to get a permit to do a fence, you know, that costs money, but that's up to you to keep people out of it. That's your job. You're the property owner. You figure out what you want to do, but you would need a permit to do a fence if you want to do that. But that's going to come off. You got plenty of time. This will take, 2 hours to do. So that's simple, but I'm giving you the full 63 days or a fine here of $25 a day. So each one of these things, if it stays there, is $25 for every violation that remains. I don't want that money. You don't want to pay that money. Use the money to fix the property up, okay?
Yes.
All right, sir. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 30, Inspector Bernstein Sambert. Case number CE 22060803, case address 1519 Northwest 8th Avenue, numbers 1 and 2. Owner 1519 Northwest 8th Avenue LLC. This case was first heard on 10/27/22 to comply by 11/24/22. 4 sections not complied at $50 per day. $3,800 is accrued, and this is a request for an extension.
Good morning, Your Honor. City of Fort Lauderdale Code Enforcement, Bernstein Sambert. Case number CE 22060803, address 1519 Northwest 8th Ave. This property was inspected in May 2022.
May 22?
Correct. It took a while to get to the agenda. I'm not
Okay.
sure what happened, but
Okay.
took a while. But the following violation are in compliance: 4734.1.8.1 complied, 184C complied. I did go by the property this morning. There is a gentleman that was painting on the. I'm not. Is it on here? There is a gentleman that was painting the building. And I spoke to the owner of the property. He did stated that he removed some trash on the property. So
What about this porta potty thing?
it's been removed.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I gotta get the current pictures. But the 1812A overgrowth trash and debris is still remain until I go back there today. 9304B, the driveway is faded, oil stains, and missing wheel stop, it remains. 9313A is in compliance.
Okay.
9305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover, including
It's a
the
vacant
swell.
property, right?
Say that again?
Vacant?
Yes, currently it is vacant.
Okay.
The 9306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. There are areas of the exterior wall that have stains and missing paint. It still remains, but like I spoke
may be
today,
painting it,
he's
right?
painting it now, so
Okay.
I'll go there and check it out.
That includes the front doors have to be fixed too, right?
Painted too, correct. The owner is here to request an extension due to his circumstances.
Okay. Yes, sir. Your name and address?
Good morning. My name is Shmuel Casper, the owner of 1519 Northwest 8th Avenue. As Mr. Sambert mentioned, everything has been in compliance except for the pile of lime rock, which my ex-contractor promised me 100 times he would get it removed, and we're still trying to get it removed. So that's the reason for the violation. But as Mr. Sambert mentioned, everything was in compliance. The porta potty was taken off right away. The house is being painted. The doors are painted.
What about the pile of dirt that's still there? Is that
That's the lime rock I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
He didn't say the driveway was fixed. He said that was still out of compliance.
no, we spoke about the driveway this morning. The wheel stops were removed in order for the dump truck to pour the lime rock onto the ground, and then the contractor never put it back on. So I can't do that until the dump truck comes and takes the lime rock away in order for the wheel stops to get put back on.
He's not required to have wheel stops, right?
If you have it, like let's say if you have one or two, and
Then you
have
gotta
four,
keep them in repair.
you got to keep them.
If you take them off, you don't need to have them there. That's
I
your
did not
choice.
know that.
Okay,
That
you
is
can
great.
remove them if you wish, but the condition of the parking area is bad. It's not that big of a deal to fix it. It's a fairly small area, but it's got to be fixed. It's in really bad shape. Okay? So you're
Okay.
asking for additional time, right?
Yes, please. I'm also asking and requesting for the current fines to be stopped.
Well, I think that's what they'll do if we give them time, right?
Well,
Extension?
they're still accruing right now.
I understand,
right?
but I'm gonna ask.
Correct. It's still accruing. Yes, the still fines can be, because he is making the progress, and I think he can get it done within 28, no.
29 days? 29, I think.
29 days, correct.
Okay, so we give you 29 days. I'll stop the fines today, stop the clock, and you've got almost a month to get this stuff done. But the landscape has to be cut and fixed, and that parking area has to be,
Right, so those pictures are 5 months old.
that's all right, whatever it is,
Right.
you know.
I have new pictures if you want to see
Work with the
them.
inspector, and he will complete, you know, you've already complied the vehicle, you put the address numbers on there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It looks good,
So
right?
these pictures show that the parking area is still bad.
No,
That
yes,
hasn't-
correct.
that
It's
hasn't been
not in
fixed.
compliance.
And there's still junk in the yard, not a lot, but it needs to be cleaned better, right? What is that? And there's still, you want to show, I can show them.
Can I see the picture you're looking at, please?
Let's take a look at what was taken yesterday,
This
this
morning.
morning.
Correct.
So these are the things you need to fix, but I'm going to give you 29 days within which to do it,
Okay, yeah, we spoke about this, Mr. Sambert.
okay?
Yes, magistrate. I would like to also mention that he's going to reappear after the 20.
A mandatory repair?
Correct.
Okay, so you're going to come back, what is the 29th day a hearing date?
January 11th.
January 11th, you'll come back. I'll be here, and we're going to look at this to see that.
January 11th or 29
January
days?
11th of 2023, you will return to prove that, that's 29 days, to show that all this is in compliance. If it's in compliance, he doesn't have to come back, right? Or does he?
No, he has to come back.
He'll still come back?
Yeah.
Because he has pending fines.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
All right.
But the fines are stopping today.
I'm stopping the fines today, so
Okay.
that the clock won't run on more fines. But that's me trusting you that you're going to fix these things, all right? One month to do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So you made some progress. Let's just finish it up.
It's almost done.
It could be, all right, that's my point. Let's get it done. All right, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, can we take a brief recess before we start?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We're on recess, Jerry. Thank you.
Like 5 minutes? Or?
We will now resume this morning's special magistrate hearing. Our next case is on page 4. Senior Inspector Doreen Cologne, case number CE 22050780, case address 3215 Northeast 38th Street, owner Premont American Family Trust, Johann LeBrake, trustee, property posted 11/28/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Cloyan, City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22050780, case address 3215 Northeast 38th Street. This property was first inspected on May 26, 2022, and the following violation was observed. 9306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. There are areas of the exterior that have peeling paint, and the fascia from front of the property is missing and has peeling paint as well. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on December 12th, 2022, and the violation remains as depicted in the photos. For the record, the city is requesting 14 days to comply or a fine in the amount of $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 6. Case number Inspector Bernstein Sambert. Case number CE 22090014. Case address 901 Southeast 14th Court, numbers 1 and 2. Owner Bettina Bailey and Kenneth McGinnity. Property posted 11/14/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Inspector Bernstein, City of Fort Lauderdale, Community Enhancement, case number and address as read. Property was inspected on September 1st, 2022. The following violations were observed. 9-304B. The driveway has crack, is faded, and is not being maintained in a well-graded/smooth condition. The paint of the driveway is peeling. Inspection report was posted on the property, and a copy was mailed to the owner according to BCPA records. I have been in good communication with the owner. A pre-hearing inspection revealed the violation stated is not in compliance. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violation as depicted. The city is requesting 29 days to comply or a fine of $50 per day.
29?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 28 days.
28, okay. Or 50, okay. And we have service on these. People are, all these cases have service on them, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so ordered.
Our next case is on page 7. Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne, case number CE 22100612. Case address 2491 Solar Plaza Drive. Owner, Cinema Holdings LLC. Property posted 11/28/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Cloyan, City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22100612, 249, case address 2491 Solar Plaza Drive. This property was first inspected by Inspector Sheriar on October 17th, 2022, and the following violation was observed. 1812A. It is complied as of yesterday's pre-hearing inspection. However, it is a recurring violation based on previous cases CE 22040530 and CE 22080102. And we would like a finding of fact and the photos entered for the record.
Okay, finding of fact is ordered based on the pictures that are accepted as evidence. So ordered.
Thank you.
Our next case, case number CE 22100616. Case address 2495 Solar Plaza Drive. Owner Cinema Holdings LLC. Property posted 11/28/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Senior Inspector Caloyan, City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22100616, case address 24995 Solar Plaza Drive. This property was first inspected on 10/17 by Inspector Sheriar. The following violation was observed, 1812A, which is complied. However, we're asking for a finding of fact for the recurring violation. Previous case numbers are CE 22040530 and CE 22080102, and we would also like the photos entered for the record.
Okay, photos are accepted as evidence, composite. A finding of fact is entered, so ordered.
Thank you.
Our next case, Inspector Bernstein Sambert, case number CE 22080901. Case address 810 Southeast 16th Street. Owner Eclipse Decathlon RE Harbor Beach LLC in care of Formation Capital Asset. Property posted 11/14/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Bernstein Sandberg, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number and property address as read. This property was inspected on August 31st, 2022. Following violations were observed. 9-280H complied. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, debris on this property. 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover, including the swell. Inspection report was posted on the property, and a copy was mailed to the owner, according to BCPA records. A pre-hearing inspection revealed violations stated is not in compliance. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violations as depicted. City is requesting 28 days to comply, or a fine of $50 per day.
Okay, all photos are accepted as a composite exhibit from the city, and the request for 28 days over $50 fine is accepted as an order.
Our next case is on page 8, Inspector Bernstein Sambert, case number CE 22040196, case address 1146 Northwest 17th Avenue, owner Terrence Smith and Carol Williams, property posted 11/22/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Bernstein Sandberg, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number and property address as read. Property was inspected in April 2022. Following violations were observed. 9-280H1 has been withdrawn. 9-304B complied. 1812A complied. 4734.1.8.1, there is unroofed outdoor storage, including but not limited to tarp, tables, chairs, and miscellaneous items occurring at this RS8 zoning. This is an unpermitted use per ULDR section 47-5.11. 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover, including the swell. Inspection report was posted on property. Pre-hearing inspection revealed the violation stated is not in compliance. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violation as depicted. City is requesting 28 days to comply, or a fine of $25 per day.
Okay, all photos are accepted as a composite exhibit on behalf of the city. 28 days within which to comply, $25 for anything that is not timely complied. So ordered.
Our next case is on page 10. Inspector Gustavo Caracas. Case number CE 22090333. Case address 501 Northeast 4th Avenue. Owner 501 Northeast Holdings LP. Property posted 10/20/22. Posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Good morning, Magistrate. Gus Caracas, City of Fort Lauderdale, Compliance Inspector, presenting case CE 22090333 for the property located at 501 Northeast 4th Avenue. Inspection of the property was performed on September 13 and cited for the following violation. 18-1, there is graffiti at this property that is creating a public nuisance. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably become or may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. Courtesy notice was mailed to the property owner listed on BCPA via first-class mail on September 13, allowing 10 days to come into compliance. Contact has been made as of yesterday with the owner, just yesterday, one time. Special magistrate request form sent on October 11th and scheduled for today's special master. Pre-hearing inspection was done on Monday, December the 12th, and the pictures presented here were taken to confirm the violations still exist. Your Honor, the city is requesting the following: 10 days to come into compliance, or a daily fine of $50 for the violation that exists.
7 days?
10 days.
10 days.
10 days, sir, or $50 for the violation that exists. Photos submitted into record for evidence, and as I said, the owner is okay with the 10 days and $50 fine.
Excellent, okay. All right, all photos are accepted as a composite exhibit on behalf of the city. 10 days within which to comply, $50 per day for not timely complying by the 10th day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
11th day. Okay.
Our next case is on page 11. Senior Inspector Gail Williams, case number CE 22080909. Case address 1429 Miami Road. Owner Mary McCurry. Property posted 11/28/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22.
Special Magistrate, Senior Inspector Gil Williams for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 22080909, address 1429 Miami Road. Property was cited on August 31st, 2022 for the following violations. 47-20.20.H, there are parking facilities that are not maintained at this property. There are potholes, the asphalt is faded, and striping is faded. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and/or its swell. 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. An inspection report was posted on the property, and a copy was mailed to the owner listed on Broward County Property Appraisal via first-class mail. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on December 11th, 22, and violations 47-20.20.H, 18-12A, and 9-305B remains as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 42 days to comply or a daily fine of $50 for each violation per day thereafter.
Okay, all the photos are accepted as a composite exhibit, 42 days within which to comply, $50 per violation for anything that is not timely complied. So ordered.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14, Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne. Case number CE 22110324, case address 1418 Northeast 53rd Court, owner FL 2-Day Inc. Property posted 11/17/22, posted at City Hall 11/29/22, and this is a request for vacation rental suspension.
Leonard Champagne for the city for case CE 22110324. Address is 1418 Northeast 53rd Court for violation code 15282 D1A. There is a qualified number of violations. In the particular case, it would be 3 violations. For this vacation rental property, to request a certificate suspension of 180 days before the special magistrate. There was 3 different cases. Case number 1 was CE 22090267, okay, for 24/7B. Case BE 21090025 for FBC 2020-105 requested, which was work without a permit. And the third case would be CE 22110195 for 15278 1E. This was a vacation rental for parking violation. Again, the city is requesting a suspension of those 3 violations of the 180-day suspension.
Okay, all photos are accepted as a composite exhibit. So ordered.
Thank you. Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 16. Case number CE 22100599, case address 1616 Northeast 16th Avenue, owner Cotapere Realty LLC. This case was cited 10/18/22 to comply by 11/2/22. One section complied at $200 per day, $2,400 accrued. The city is requesting full amount be imposed, and no appeal was received for the citation. So, Magistrate, when it comes to the non-respondents for our massees, the code officers do not. I read everything in, and then it's just basically ordered. They appealed, so they're not on that part. They didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't.
So what do we do on this one, Kat?
So basically, you would just order that the fines be imposed, as
Okay.
read.
So ordered, fines to be imposed.
On page 16, case number CE 22080605, the city is requesting to vacate the order imposing fines of 10/27/22 and close the case.
So ordered.
Our next case is on page 17, case number CE 22030650, Case address 5561 Northeast 28th Avenue. Owner Dominic Darpino Estate. This case was first heard on 6/14/22 to comply by 8/9/22. Suspended 8/9/22 through 9/13/22 and 10/11/22 through 11/8/22. The case did come into compliance on yesterday, so the city is requesting that the fines of $3,100 be imposed.
So ordered.
Our next case, case number CE 22090574, case address 409 Seabreeze Boulevard, owner Summit Hospitality 153 LLC. This case was cited on 9/23/22 to comply by 10/3/22. One section complied at $250 per day. And the city requesting $750 be imposed and vacate the order of November 9, 2022, imposing $4,500 and impose the correct amount of $750.
So ordered.
Our next case on page 17, case number CE 22100459, case address 2760 North Atlantic Boulevard, owner 2760 North Atlantic Boulevard LLC. This case was cited on 10/19/22 to comply by 10/20/22. One section complied at $200, $8,200 accrued, and the city requesting $267 be imposed.
So ordered.
On page 18, for case number CE 22080305, case address 3114 East Sunrise Boulevard, owner 3114-20 East Sunrise Boulevard LLC. The city is requesting to vacate the finding of fact on this case and close the case.
So ordered.
On page 18, case number CE 22080332, case address 918 South Rio Vista Boulevard, owner 1203 Southeast 11th Court LLC, in care of Joseph M. Balaco Jr. Esquire. This case was cited on 8/11/2022, citation issued on 9/26/2022 to comply by 11/25/22. One section not complied at $150 per day. $2,700 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue, and no appeal was received for the citation.
Okay, so ordered.
Our next case is on page 21. Case number CE 21060631. Case address 1800 Northeast 56th Street. Owner Grand Flamingo Properties LLC. This case was first heard on 8/25/22 to comply by 9/24/22 and 10/6/2022. Two sections complied at $50 per day. $950 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount be imposed.
So ordered.
Our next case is on page 24. Case number CE 22090716. Case address 703 Northwest 1st Avenue. Owner Fumi Takashina. This case was cited on 9/27/22 to comply by 11/26/22. One section complied at $250 per day. $750 accrued. The city is requesting full amount be imposed, and no appeal was received for the citation.
So ordered.
Our next case on page 24, case number CE 22070436, case address 200 Northwest 2nd Street. Owner Williams Communications, Inc., in care of Level 3 Communications. This case was first heard on 9/13/22 to comply by 10/18/22. Three sections not complied at $50 per day. $8,400 accrued. The city is requesting full amount be imposed and fines continue to accrue.
So ordered.
Our next case on page 25, case number CE 19061768, case address 425 Northeast 8th Street, owner Ralph Lynch. The city is requesting to vacate the order imposing fines and close the case.
So ordered.
Our next case on page 26, case number CE 22100082, case address 709 Southwest 14th Avenue, numbers 1 through 3, owner CSB7 LLC. This case was cited on 10/4/22 to comply by 10/4/22. Three sections complied at $500 per day. $1,500 accrued. The city is requesting full amount be imposed, and no appeal was received for the citation.
So ordered.
Our next case is on page 27. Case number CE 22090265. Case address 1113 Northwest 23rd Terrace. Owner Shirley Harris and Kimberly McClam and all others. The city is requesting to vacate the order imposing fines of November 9th, 2022.
So ordered.
The city is requesting to enter pages 33 and 34 in today's hearing as an exhibit. It is the city's list of compliant, closed, withdrawn, and rescheduled cases.
I'm sorry, say again?
The city is requesting to enter pages 33 and 34 into today's exhibit. In today's hearing as an exhibit is the city's list of complied, closed, withdrawn, and rescheduled cases.
Okay, approved, so ordered.
And this concludes the special magistrate hearing agenda for December 13th, 2022.
All right.